typo.
So, Katie, did you say the minutes for the meetings are on the website? Okay.
Yeah. Minutes and then agendas as well.
Oh, phooey, I
You helped
remembered
us.
wrong. Yeah, but I remembered wrong. I thought it was a white note.
You helped us. It was behind the front desk.
Oh.
So you helped us.
That's a
so.
huge.
Well then, because we thought it was blocking the ground. I was like, no.
Yeah, so
Nope.
I just led you on the wrong
No.
goose chase.
It was very helpful.
So
We found it.
maybe offline I can send you an email and ask for where exactly.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take one and pass.
And also, I started a Google Docs that has just the notes that we took during our meeting. So it's the future agenda and notes, which are kind of nice to have.
Don't you have to invite us to that?
Yeah, I can just invite you on to the Google
Oh,
Docs.
thank you.
And we have that other Google Doc too, like
Oh,
if you ever
that's
have
great.
ideas. Oh, you're on
It
there.
worked. Thank you
Oh,
so
my
much.
goodness.
I have heard that you work magic, and it's true.
Maybe that's work magic.
What are you, a
No,
liar or
I'm
something?
serious.
It may be it may be true. And I was a teacher, so.
Double whammy.
I know, I don't want you to spend any time.
Okay.
So this is the
Thank you.
main one. I don't think this one
Is that one of the, oops, that looks awesome.
Oh, sorry about that. That went a little faster and farther than I
Yeah,
meant
it's
for it
so
to.
cute than the last pages.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
good.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes.
so this is totally, my kids would love the little skulls and bones.
Well, that's the joy, is you can get so many different kinds of.
Yeah, I didn't, yeah.
Well,
and I'm
Tom's
surprised
gonna
at how
replace
nice it's
the
done.
ink.
Yeah,
I don't know where the
it's
car-
Is it? Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Always says
Um,
no paper in.
Where do you want us to put it when we're
There's no
done?
paper in there.
Okay, you can just put it on the desk.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
All right.
Yeah, try it out.
You'll do better than most of us. Oh.
My youngest daughter started watching YouTube things for doing hula hoop. You should see her because she does things that makes it look like she's doing magic. Like,
You're welcome. I was like, I feel like
that's
great.
you can learn anything on YouTube. Hello,
That's true.
hi.
Here, I'll move down one. Is my head going in the way?
No,
Hey,
it's
girl,
over here now,
hey.
so.
They're just bothering you?
Oh,
We just lost connection. Oh, there we go.
The, what did we call it? Oh, Superior Sunsets. That's what Stephanie suggested. I wasn't at the last night.
One more down there.
No, not oh Superior, no, I said, oh. So here, what is this? Stephanie,
So, because we don't sit up there.
said that there's a place
You
near
guys
her
don't mind
where
when I-
people just.
Being video.
Oh, for the
Oh,
scale.
yes,
Yes,
to
they get
watch
to
Go back
this.
and watch the
Okay.
videos of the meetings as well.
I think they did.
Anyway, yeah, because I told her she could come to the,
Yo, meow.
she could come to a meeting.
Yeah, how about that?
You
Did
know,
you
she
get
had
on
to be a
it?
member to come to a meeting to get an idea.
Yeah.
Feels so official. Okay, what are those things?
They're microphones.
Because they record the. Oh, that's right, I forgot.
So don't say anything we,
Anything we don't want the NSA to hear? No.
there are.
Oh my God. I haven't had a name tag in this new century. Is this
this,
magnetic?
Consider pull it off.
Oh my God, welcome.
Okay, this is the little. You're official. You have
First
a name
century,
tag.
yeah.
This is the little.
That's the little one. There wasn't another
Although-
one. I just
Okay, so from here, where is the sports?
It doesn't, oh wait, where'd you go?
Oh, yeah, oh, for
You
sure.
guys flip it
There's a
over.
little half.
Oh, is it on the other side?
Yeah. it's on
Oh,
the
okay.
other
Oh,
side.
okay.
It's on there.
So if you're looking at the little one,
Well, I shall-
whichever way Main Street is.
Oh, yeah, that
Heading
makes
down
sense.
Main
Yeah,
Street,
everything will be
the sports
held
stable's
right
down
here.
here by that big.
Awesome, and where the
Okay.
video? So the video.
Okay, right, it's here. McCaslin is this way. Yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking that, of
Did you
course,
make
north
this
is.
beautiful placemaking packet?
No, I did not. I found it online. I had her make it.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
All the
no,
way
I
to the
thought
bottom.
that was
They
a
were community programming. Oh, and then there we are.
So this is going to have a lot
All
of
right.
shrubs.
So I did hear
Said my
from
name is
Sandy
misspelled
Hammerly,
here.
who is subbing for Sandy Pennington. She's coming, but she's late, so she will be here. Karen is running a little bit late too, but she's on her way. I haven't heard from Debbie, but I assume she'll be here. And I think that's all of
But we
us.
have enough for voting purposes?
Yeah, we do. And then we have a guest. Would you like to
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
I'm Dix Llewellyn and I'm on the Historical Commission, so
Oh.
we're interested in what you guys are doing as we're thinking about how we want our future presence to be, especially on the new part of town too, so. that's
Yeah,
what-
that's great. Perfect.
Well, welcome. Thank you for coming. And I wish, oh, Claire's missing too.
Yeah.
She's the placemaking person. So I wonder if we want to hold off on that and skip the branding until we have everybody here and go on to the roundabout.
Can we
So-
first just go around and say names again?
Absolutely.
I
Sure.
missed last time because I was sick.
Good
So-
idea. I'm Daryl McCool, and I am the chair and a lover of art, and happy to be here.
I'm Terry Whitaker. I'm Kitty Sargent.
Lindsay Llewellyn.
Katie Brummel, I'm the staff liaison.
Your turn.
Oh,
Angela Friend, I'm also a lover of the arts.
Marcia Rain, lover of the arts, and I was on the last committee.
Yeah, Melinda Tanahan, I'm co-chair, and I was on the last committee. So looking forward to taking all of this forward.
And when you say the last committee, you mean the one that created this committee, or
The-
is there something else? Okay.
Yeah.
the working group that started.
The
Got it.
working group.
Got it.
Yes.
That carried us forward into where we are today.
Yes.
I was actually referring to the committee 15 years ago.
But she, yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay.
On a committee.
I didn't live here.
Yeah.
When all of the original pieces that are around town were chosen, Marcia was on that arts committee and part of that group that did that. And that's what that giant notebook in the middle of the table
You have a lot of history on the.
is all about.
Mary,
So,
that's awesome. Someone's here.
yeah, that's
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Oh,
So. You can actually, well, you can sit that far down. I mean, you can sit behind this
You wanna
thing.
sit? I can move myself.
If you're gonna.
I'll just sit right here.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
We can move this forward a little bit too. Whoop. Let's see. Oh, that's Debbie. Oh, perfect. Okay.
It's a
Then
really great little
everyone,
document. I love it.
There's so much that we talked about on that first day.
So I found this placemaking piece online. And I thought that it was sort of a good start for talking about the overall brand of Superior. And I did do a little bit of research, and I wanted to show you guys where Superior is today in terms of an overall look and feel and brand, because there are existing things within town. We've got a town with a logo and an identity. We've got the chamber. We've got downtown Superior. So I was going to just sort of go through their websites and show us all what our town sort of looks like to the outside world if you were just poking around and wanting to
Oh,
know
yeah,
about
good idea.
Superior. I thought that was a good place, especially when we hit downtown Superior. They've got this pretty contemporary look and feel and identity going strong with their plans. So this is the Superior website, and there's also a great page on here which is all the Superior businesses. And really, if you think about Superior, a lot of it's marketplace driven, business driven, by the Superior Plaza, downtown Superior, Discovery Office Park. I mean, when we think of Superior, it's shopping areas and parks.
So when they say businesses, they're not talking about anybody whose business is based out of their home?
No, these are all bricks and mortar, as far as I can tell. If you want home-based businesses, that's, the chamber has
Right.
a great list of that,
Yeah.
you know, so. But no, this is really literally just
Yeah, where
shopping
you can
centers
actually
and-
go.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. We want people to come here and go to one of these businesses.
So that's Superior, you know, the logo, as long as I've been here, which is 20 years, is the logo. And I don't know exactly where it came from. Do you know, Katie? Sorry, I thought I knew that before.
No, I don't.
So my interpretation of it, and you guys, you know, will have to go out and look. So do you know the single tree trail that sort of wraps around original town? There's a hillside there and there's a tree, one single tree on top of it.
Oh.
And depending on where you are, sometimes you can see the moon or the sun coming up by that. I don't know if that was it or not, but that's always
think
my
you're along.
interpretation.
So it's not,
That is along the line.
Nobody knows that.
you learn all the
That is
time.
outstanding.
No, I think that is correct.
Okay.
so it's not broccoli?
It's not
I don't.
And I think it's truly an
sunrise
interpretation of the
broccoli.
tree, because I think that tree is more of a evergreen tree, but anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like that.
Well, no tree really looks like that.
No.
Yeah, it's more like a
But it's-
kindergartner, like.
And then this is, let's see, let's go to downtown Superior. So this is downtown Superior, which is promoting the, you know, the new area over on the other.
But who does
Yeah,
the
who
site?
is this website? Who's in charge of this? Is this part of the town or is
This
this
you
part of
No,
the town?
Ranch Capital.
Ranch Capital, the people that are developing it.
Oh, okay.
Really?
And
I
they're-
don't know why
Ranch
they
Capital
changed the
still
name.
The developer for the town center?
I don't, I really don't know why, and
We just got used to saying town center and now.
Well, no, and there's one that has flat irons behind it.
Do you have the whole
there is a
logo?
logo. It's the same font, but,
Right, but there's the flat irons behind
yeah.
it.
So that font is not too far off from the other font. is it?
If you look at that font, it sort of
Yeah,
matches.
and it's right over there to
and-
the right, so you can compare.
Yeah.
What do you want to, oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, there's
it's not the same
Nah.
font.
No, it's not the same. The,
The word superior.
Oh, maybe it's down here, maybe.
Look at this, we've had an outside source
Oh, yeah.
capture us.
So there it is, down here.
which is kind of cool, because it has the mining shaft and.
I like that.
Where is that mining shaft?
Well, it doesn't exist anymore. If we can do hologram art, it's back over there.
Advertising.
It's, used to be where the mine was.
Yeah.
You can see the pilings out there that they, you know, again, if you're doing single tree loop, there's all those pilings out there, the big mounds. That's where that used to be. You can actually find concrete barriers and some cabling and things like that. that are just in the-
Yeah.
Well, I want to walk on that trail. I didn't even know
Let's
it
see
was
what
there.
else they
Being from the
have.
historical commission,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
curious
the,
to
it's all
see
Boulder
how
County open
they
space now.
perceive us and how
But
they're
there
going to
were
be
other
advertising
mines
us
right,
to,
in the Superior
right,
District.
potential
So
clients
that was
and
the main
tenants.
Exactly, and if you look at this, they're advertising a town event, they're advertising another restaurant that's over in Superior Marketplace, and they're advertising their hotel that's coming.
You know, but does it look like that?
The hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will, that is
Bummer.
a hotel.
Wonder, yeah.
It's like, do they own it that
Wow.
way or something?
Wow.
No, but that is the final.
Can I throw something in here?
Sure,
It was like 3 meetings ago that I'm remembering that I just said, say, by the way, we got to talk to those folks really soon about the sculpture in front. Has
Oh, yeah.
anybody done that?
We will. It's okay where we are
Could
right now.
I like, you know, help with that somehow? I'd like to look up what the company is, Element Hotel, see if they've done sculptures in front of their hotels at other places. That would give me an idea of what they would probably intend to do here. Because these things get arranged like years in advance.
Well, and Marcia, we're going to go through what, who wants to be on what subgroup and committee, and so I think you're perfect for the art installation opportunities. Keep that in mind.
What does it have in the gallery? I like how
Oh,
they're
you wanna see the
advertising
gallery?
our current businesses.
So under the gallery, we can turn off, do you guys want the light off?
I can turn the back light
See
off.
better?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, mind your way.
No, you're fine. So the hotel, the visual configuration of it has been all approved, have all the, how much else has been approved? Do we know?
Just that.
Just that.
Just the hotel?
Okay, so
Well, I know
here's-
Remington's have been approved, right?
Oh, that houses?
That, the Remington townhouses have been approved.
Yeah, they actually started doing.
And the Wonderland homes.
story townhomes.
And the, right, and the Wonderland homes are
So
approved.
these look like stylized version. Oh, wow. Look at that. Pinko color.
Is that, I mean, is this an actual architectural rendering of what they're putting in?
Well, kind of that, see this right here? This is Main Street, and that is the, I think that's the sports stable back there.
And it will be like that. There won't be curves. They'll just kind of be flush. You know, there'll be parking flush, no curbs, no, and then the sidewalks just kind of flow together.
And there are.
Those are Remingtons.
And those are going to be on Main Street?
Well, some of that stuff, some of
Yeah.
these are homes that are a little bit further to the south.
But is that, I mean, are they going to be that modern looking, that craftsman?
Yes.
Okay. all
Yeah,
right.
those have already been approved. You can go to remingtonhomes.com
Oh, okay. Oh,
and
Remington
see those
Homes,
in the
okay.
floor plans.
And this exists right now, and you can actually ride this. And you can get to the sports stable on a bike if you really want to.
Yes, you can.
You can get
Yeah.
to this
I
on the
walked,
bike.
I walked over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I mean, just demographically, when you go back up and they showed the gallery, they were young yuppies,
Yeah.
Right.
which is something that we talked about, right? So they're going to try to attract a newer demographic to Superior. So I think when we are planning out our concept going forward, I don't
see
think
it.
we need to just present ourselves as the bedroom community, just the, which is what we are, right? I think we
Yeah.
need to keep in mind.
We can be hip and cool.
We are hip and cool, Daryl, and that's what we want to.
And then actually you
Right.
get down here, and these are existing, like this is from the 4th of July parade, both of these. Like all of these are.
That's our truck?
And Chili Fest.
It doesn't look like that.
No,
Doesn't
it
look
actually
like that
looks
anymore.
really nice now. 'cause
Yeah.
it's
I
been
think Cam got these a couple years ago from me.
I think this is great. I think this is helping us to, it helps us to know how the developer is going to advertise us.
Yeah. But I think, and it also helps us understand that there's already identity out there somewhat for the town. You know, we aren't,
Well, I didn't see any pictures of all our, what the houses actually look like today, you know what I mean? Like what the neighborhood looks like today. So that, I mean, this is kind of a moving forward look.
this is moving forward, and this is literally downtown Superior. It is
Right.
across the street, and for the most part, other than the sports stable, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is,
And then, let's see, what else did
so it was Chamber of Commerce, Downtown Superior, and,
Oh, and I was just showing you the business centers within town. I think, oh, there is a very cool, if I can get there, the parks. And I think we wanted to do this for the art too. There's a virtual tour, so you can go and you can see the parks and you can see the amenities, and I'll try and navigate us to there. And so this is the chamber as it exists. And they're, you know, they're pretty wrapped in the town and the town identity. And they do, you know, it's primarily business, but they do a lot of community outreach.
Well, they have the Flatirons up there in their logo as well.
Right.
yeah, you're right.
And that, they're thinking about changing a little bit, but they're not sure yet. You know, it's always interesting to take on the idea of
With Bernie's smile.
switching an identity, you know, midstream when it's so identifiable and well known. And just population numbers and you know, very, very business oriented, but they're very community oriented
Yeah,
too.
that's good.
So, what about the parks thing? Let's see if we can get there.
If you go to the town website.
Yeah. Is it under parks?
So,
Yeah, if we go on our
Oh,
tab,
Parks.
yeah,
Go here?
yeah.
Okay.
Area trail information and maps,
It's just the maps.
the interactive.
The
map.
interactive map, oh yeah, this is really nice.
Yes, so
So you actually leave, you leave the town site to go to this,
It's a beautiful picture.
and here we have all of the parks that are in Superior, they're numbered. You can click on them and you can get more information about what's available at the park, like Children's Park, and where it is and how to get there. And so we were originally talking about doing this for all the art that's around
we
town.
have it probably 75% complete. It's just a matter of Alex and I just sitting down with all the new pictures that we have and putting the new pictures to the right number and the little descriptions that Wanda wrote up, so.
Nice. And you can even reserve.
Okay, where is that park? I know it says original, but where?
Which one?
Or the
Down.
children's park?
Oh, Children's Park is, if you go down Coal Creek,
Yeah.
turn left on Second Avenue, go across the bridge, is on the south side.
Oh, it's on the other side. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
a
across from
little-
the cow
Right
pasture.
near the bridge.
It's
Okay.
a little alley. It was the alleyway that got turned into
Mhm.
a park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where the rest of them are, most of them are anyway, so.
We have a,
That is beautiful.
isn't that nice?
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
That's the Torrey's Peak, that's on Torrey's Peak.
So this is kind of what we based Passport off of, our Passport program that we added the art to last year. So everyone goes and visits all the parks, and then they go and they had to find all the art pieces too this year, which was fun.
That was great.
So anyway, I just thought it would be nice to have a little tour, a little town tour, so we can kind of see that there is quite an identity, but there's room for, the arts to come flying in and placemaking to really take off around here.
Thank you for creating that.
Sure. So does anyone, I know that, Claire, you have a real passion for the visioning and the town brand. Are you?
These are different.
This is the first agenda item, or second agenda item, essentially. We just wanted to reserve some time and talk about the brand.
Yeah, so I didn't make it to that meeting March 6th. Did you end up going to that meeting? No.
I did not, I wasn't able to, and they mostly talked about home rule.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we have any. Just looking for comments on this topic. I think it's real interesting, I guess, that this downtown, these images really do evoke more of that like young professional kind of look, because, and as I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, so why would somebody choose to live in Superior rather than live in Boulder or Louisville or Bloomfield or something, like why are they choosing this town? And I think a lot of it is that it's just like a great place for families, right? So, but that's not really part of that new vision. So I'm wondering like how to merge that.
Well, it is interesting to look at that new vision. It's kind of
Yeah.
crisp, but it's unknown. And really, at the end of the day, is that who is going to end up being there? Like when Debbie moved into Coal Creek Crossing up here, they touted that as porch homes for empty nesters kind of thing. But that's not the reality of who ended up buying
Who's
there.
over there?
What is your? Tell us your demographic.
Who are you?
I would say 75% are like my age, late 50s, early 60s. But there's also a lot of families there too. Surprisingly, a lot of families. But if you think about it, what a great location for people with young kids. Like my neighbor right across the street has a 2-year-old. And so she doesn't have to maintain her yard. She walks to everything. The park is right there. Tons of bikers, so that goes back into that sports aspect. A lot of the people in our neighborhood are big bikers and hikers, and they found the neighborhood by riding their bike through the neighborhood. So a lot of bikers, for whatever reason.
So it's more diverse than I thought it would be. I think it's almost choosing that lifestyle, kind of a semi-urban walk to stuff. There's probably 5 of our neighbors who walk their bikes over to the bus, take the bus into Denver. So that's a pretty big deal.
I think
being
you
close to
just
the bus
nailed
stop.
it. It's the semi-urban concept
Yeah,
that
that's right.
the existing town of Superior is very family friendly, and the new vision that we just saw is that it is semi-urban. So it is going to attract not necessarily singles and yuppies, but definitely young families.
Right. Well,
So-
and maybe there's a name for that other than semi-urban.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have
Yeah.
Rock Creek, you have Original Town, that is,
I'm not sure.
the original mining, and then you have Rock Creek, which is, having lived there, is, much more subdivision-y, young families kind of thing. And then you have downtown, that's really going to be kind of a very urban. And I think that when they approved the town plan, a lot of the objections from Rock Creek people was that it was going to be too urban. And now a lot of us like that urban feel, being close to everything. And when I ask, which if you guys go around and ask everybody why they would live in Superior, the answers have got really interesting. And nobody really said family per se, but it was like being in a community, being close to their work, being close to the bus, Costco and Target. So when you ask people, what do you think of when you think of Superior? Super well organized. I mean, like I can get right on 36. I can, get wherever I need to go. So they didn't really focus a lot on that family kind of concept, but it was interesting too. Just as a side note, I know when the town was voted on, the town center was voted on, one of the things that came out was that people didn't want it to look like Arista. Do you know where Arista is?
Yes.
And you look at it and there's no personality. Off
Yeah,
36 by
it's like it was
airport.
just,
It's very sterile.
it's like Prospect and Longmont, that doesn't go with anything else
Yeah,
there.
it's out of context.
Yeah, exactly, that's,
That's over by Wadsworth. or-
Yes, it's off of
Yeah,
Wadsworth.
where the-
Yes,
Children's
Children's
Center.
Hospital.
By First Bank Center.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have, again, when you're talking about brand and trying to bring in culture and art and events and community and that kind of stuff, it's just really, it's interesting because we went to a neighborhood in Broomfield, it's off of 287 called Bradburn. You guys ever heard? I had never heard of this.
Yeah.
And we went for brunch on Sunday and it was hopping. I mean, there were people everywhere. And they've taken that kind of mixed-use concept. So they have where they have the restaurants and the businesses and all that kind of stuff right off of kind of 287.
287 and what?
287 and Sheridan, basically.
Okay.
Kind of right where the Kohl's is there. It's actually 287 and Bradburn. So you come into the neighborhood and then you see the urban stuff, basically business, mixed use. But it was it had a really cool vibe to it. People were doing stuff, they were hanging out, they were eating with their friends and all this kind of stuff. It is actually Westminster, yeah. And then you go back in and you have like condos and you have row homes, and then you actually go back in and there's single families in there that are very cool. So if you look at the and I took a picture of it, I didn't bring my phone in. They had this big roundabout by Whole Foods, not that it would work for us, but I was thinking of McCaslin, and there's like people on it, holding hands and playing basically, and it's massive.
Oh,
So-
like they have a sculpture.
They have a sculpture in the
There's a lot
roundabout.
of, I'm actually thinking we need field trips.
Well, no, I mean, when you're out, like when you're out and about. So Mike and I said, you gotta go see this neighborhood, it's really cool. So I dragged him over to Bradburn, on Sunday, and it was really busy again. And then we went over to Arista, which there was like nobody. I mean, there was nothing.
People sleep there, that's it.
I don't know what the difference is.
Isn't that a community though wasn't it designed for an older demographic?
No, I don't think so.
Specifically, no.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't. Okay.
No, I think it's just,
Okay.
there's
It's just a
condos and
different-
apartments, but it was just really kind of incredible, the difference. So when you're talking about brand, we want the Bradburn brand.
Well, I
and
like the
how-
words that you're using, because you also said, semi-urban and then well-organized, but access to lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
And we talked
Walkability.
about walkability, and we talked about the other day, I thought we were talking about the gates, like using
Yeah.
the gates, right? And so I had the idea of the gates opening and the tagline being something like, Superior, like opening opportunities or, to all. So kind of, I mean, not that specifically, but that opening.
Well, we're the
feel.
gateway to Boulder County, supposedly.
Right.
So, I mean,
And
that's
so,
the logo.
but the opportunities for all, because
Right. Mm-hmm.
that's what we are giving. We're giving access and trails and,
Everything,
accessibility
transportation,
and walkability
trails.
and, yeah, I think
I mean,
that's the brand that we somehow need to lasso.
Well, and I think that segues right into the roundabout discussion very nicely.
You're welcome.
I think that in terms of branding, we'll just kind of keep that as an open discussion and just keep talking about that.
Yeah.
It's hard to put our finger on something, especially when they've got a great website, but nothing actually exists over there
Yeah.
really yet. But that doesn't mean we don't want to stay focused and think about it. Okay, so roundabout. Terry and Melinda and I met, and for those on Pinterest, I can add you to this this board. It's been really fun to look at options, and Katie and Sandy Pennington and I met briefly with the town manager and got these diagrams, and
This is cool.
we landed on one that we really liked a lot, and that we can go through it and look at any one that you want particularly, but this one really struck us as and not this exact thing, but this idea of movement, of gate, of opening.
Yeah, not the birds.
Does
that thing move?
Well, I don't know. It really looks like it has the impression of moving, but Katie will tell us, because this was installed in Sedona in 2015, and so Katie was brave enough to call them and get some information. So you want to?
How did you find it?
These guys found it, I just called.
Okay.
I just did that. Okay, let me,
How big is it?
hold on.
And how big is the roundabout?
It's a
Okay,
great
so,
I signed up and I couldn't figure it out.
I tried to guess it the other day. How big is
oh,
it?
160 feet.
Okay.
So the roundabout itself is what?
This right?
Yeah.
What is this?
Wait, this is the Main Street roundabout. This is this little one inside.
Oh,
This
wait.
is
Oh.
Catholic.
So yeah, she's smart.
Oh, okay, so,
I did, sorry. I was trying
okay, so this is 160 feet?
across.
160?
160.
I thought it was really big like that.
So,
Yeah, that's.
The open gate.
I like
but
it.
that also includes, there's like a sidewalk area, not
Yeah,
a
but still,
sidewalk,
it's
but like,
160
But an
feet, that's
edge.
good size.
it's a decent
And
sized
it's a,
roundabout.
whoops, I didn't make the roundabout
Yep.
edge.
It's like the cold one.
Where all the black tire marks are.
But what's really cool about this specific one, because, you're probably out of the sight, but Daryl took a picture down from Sports Stable down Main Street, which looks kind of beyond the little circle, and you can see the big circle.
And you can see the mountains.
And you can see the mountains in the background, very similar to this. So if the gate was whatever, if you wanted to do a gate, which I think we're all excited about, if you were to have the gate kind of open, right, and that's kind of, then you could see it, right, because from Sports Stable, I think Carrie and I realized.
Looking through the gate at the mountains?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because if it's just a flush gate and flat, if you're standing at the Sports Stable, you're just seeing the very edge, you're not actually seeing any dimension. Although it is kind of far away, but I mean, how cool would it be, right, if you could get a feel for it?
Did you say that? Is that on Pinterest?
What, the picture
Sedona
I
one?
took?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
the
the
Sedona
Sedona
one.
one.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
no, that's on the Pinterest roundabout.
Okay.
I think it's also on mine. I did Superior Public Art, so you could pull up from there. We've
Yeah,
You
shared
can
a
Google
number.
it too, and just Google like Sedona Roundabout, and it comes up. And they have lots of different views of it, and they're kind of grand opening and a picture of the artist.
I'm just trying to find that image, sorry.
I like that it's not on the nose, that it's a gate.
Yeah.
That it's what?
It's not on the nose, it's not like the actual doors.
Right,
Yeah,
it's really,
It's an
interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea how something like that would cost?
I do.
The look at some
I mean, it's just, it's so cool. You're
Size
like-
matters, though. We need a really big
I
one.
know what size it was.
What size is that one?
Okay, yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this one was 11 feet high and 8 feet wide and 11 feet long. So I don't know exactly. So not a gigantic one.
Right, that's not really big for.
It was
that's
not,
very
and it
big.
was $65,000.
Ooh.
That's actually not.
Yeah, that's not as much as I thought it would be.
I thought it would be
And that
more.
was paid directly to the artist. He did have,
Oh, there it is.
So that's the photo looking down Main Street. You can kind of see the little roundabout is right here. And then the big one is just beyond that. But the other thing I realized too when I was out today is not only, you know, obviously it's important down Main Street, it's important up McCaslin, but it's also from this view that way. There's going to be a whole neighborhood that
Yeah.
looks right into
Yeah.
the roundabout.
So it's going to have dimension from every angle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where, you know, this, something like this that has a lot of depth and texture to it is.
But if it's only 11 feet, these tables are what, 8?
It's not that,
Yeah, it's not that big.
That's
no, it's gotta be bigger than that. Way
Because
bigger.
this is 8 by 16.
How
This-
tall are these ceilings?
I love that little
9.
boy.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Is that in the library?
Maybe 11
Unless,
on that
sit around
section.
unless it was
about-
put on a decent sized pedestal.
There you
Well, that one is
So,
cool.
Right, right.
They did pay, so the,
That's a good point.
the city of Sedona did pay for the pad, and they did pay to help install it. They paid a small percentage of the delivery fee to have it actually delivered. And then they pay about $200 a year to clean the bronze. So they do clean it every year. It was an interesting process too. She's gonna send me the RFP that they sent out. But so their funding is through Art and Public Spaces, kind of like what Denver does, where a percentage of every new development, percentage of money goes into an art fund. So it took them a while to actually get this money. They did, they sent it out to an RFP process. They received over 20 submissions. And then they narrowed it down through a commission to the top 3. And then they had those top 3 artists build a small rendering. And then those renderings were placed at the library. And they actually had the community vote on them.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Like that
So
idea.
the community voted on them, and so they did a at the library, and then they also did an online one. The only thing she said with the online one is obviously anyone can vote. So like a couple of the artists were like calling their friends and family from all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
actually
know.
don't like that idea because then you get art that appeals to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
And that's not, and that's, you know,
Well, there
we
might
want
be-
something, you know, vivacious and future, and I think that,
But
you
don't
know,
you avoid that through the vetting process before you have the 3?
You only choose 3 that you would be okay with.
Good
Would
point.
these Arizona artists, or were they?
Yeah, that would, they were
That's
local
true.
artists. Yeah, that would be,
Because I
I'd like
like
to make
that
sure we
idea.
use, that would be okay, but.
Colorado artists, if possible, the closer the better.
Well, Sedona's a big art community, so I'm
Yes.
guessing that they have a lot of artists that
So-
are pretty cool there.
And this guy was actually, he's an architect as well. So he's an artist and an architect. So she said it was just really nice to work with him because he knew all the architectural aspects of it. And then they did have to work, because it's close to a highway actually, they had to work with Arizona Department of Transportation. We would obviously just work with our Public Works Department on size-wise. It took about 8 months to build and get it installed, once they chose the winner.
Once they chose, do you know how long the whole process was though, I wonder?
She said it took about a year. I mean, it was a process, so.
I mean, the whole process took a year, or from the decision it took a year?
From the decision, it took him 8 months to build it and then get it installed.
Can you scroll down again? What kind of landscaping did they put around it? Did they put anything around it? or-
It's sitting up on a,
He did flagstone,
Okay.
yeah, there's sort of a little
Did-
wall
Yeah.
under it. If you go, I think
and
there
she
are
told
more
me
photos.
he knew a mason, and so he actually
Oh.
paid
I
that
think the
mason
bird
out
is
of
part
his
of it.
fee.
The bird
to
is
do
part
that.
of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
The bird?
It's
Yeah.
in here.
To do the
To the rocket.
Oh,
I learned
okay.
all about it.
Yeah, worst case scenarios, we can't find a local one, is that,
Oh, wait,
that
wait,
we get a
look
local.
at the use of
rather
light
than
on it,
lease.
that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Although in a roundabout, I don't think that would be confusing, but.
Yeah, I think some little lighting.
That's not a huge amount of
Definitely
light.
some lighting.
So now you
Sure,
can
the
see
one-
more of
Yeah.
what they were.
Oh, yeah.
See, when you look at it, when you see the person standing in it, it's pretty small.
It's small.
Yeah, and that roundabout is huge.
Yeah.
Aw, look at
And
how
that's the
happy he
little one
looks.
he built.
Okay.
I like the big one.
He does look like an artist/architect.
Yeah.
Well, he lives in Sedona.
Thing
He
in the
lives
center
in
one
Sedona.
reminds me of our tree logo.
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does. I mean, it's clearly a tree. Of
Right.
something.
It's an apple tree.
Is it?
Kate,
Yeah.
you
Probably an hour conversation.
Ooh, look at that.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, that looks like a.
She was very helpful.
These are
I learned a
We're gonna put
lot.
a Canada goose on ours.
Oh, here's.
Yes.
Seems to be the most common bird
Oh,
around
he has,
here.
in his little rendering, he actually has little door handles and a key.
Coyote or-
Yeah, so there's a lock on it. That's
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that beautiful?
right there.
I do
Wait,
like
do you
the
mind letting me
lighting.
play it? This thing might actually be movable.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to play the
Probably
video?
incorporate some,
It's 32 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's not huge, but
What
it's,
is
it's
our
very.
budget?
No, but if you go from the bottom of it, I mean, it's
Right.
twice the height, so you
Right.
took 11 feet, so it's actually 22 feet.
Yeah, no,
from
I mean,
the base.
I'm saying I
Yeah.
actually like it, and
Yeah,
you
the
know,
different
it's not.
levels.
It's cool with the use of the sandstone and the
Let's
different
just get
levels
this
and
guy.
stuff, the way he incorporated that.
Well, that is-
Sold, yeah.
Plus, the town of Superior, that logo could be.
Would fit beautifully inside.
Would
Wait,
fit
go,
in there.
go back like
Well, so
5
she
seconds.
was a little worried.
What do
She
you-
did say
to see
that,
the same.
you know that this is, it's not copyright.
It is
but-
copyrighted.
Proprietary.
Yes.
No, and we don't
And I
want,
said, no
Oh,
one,
we're not
no, we
gonna
don't want to
copy it.
steal
We don't want to steal your idea.
just the idea.
what did you want to see?
Hey, go
Debbie?
back where they have the quote on the bottom that they put,
Okay.
which is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, there it starts.
There it is.
What does
Okay,
it
then,
say?
which is,
You're going to open
Isn't
the
that
gate.
cool?
Ooh,
Yeah.
find
Is that
it. Open.
inscribed on it? Is that inscribed on this thing somewhere,
I don't know.
it's not- it was back to that where you were talking about the gates to, you know,
Yes.
opportunities and all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
somehow we'll incorporate it all, but it does look like our existing Town of Superior logo, which. Let's go back and look at some other ones.
Yeah.
I like the organic feel of round.
Although this
Round,
is
or
one.
there's one,
There
yeah,
was a
this is
triple.
one that,
There
this
was-
one makes us all laugh.
I like it though, the square one,
There
or the
was
sports
one
table.
with the.
Yeah, exactly.
In a
near the
plaza by the
sports
sports
gate.
stadium.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Three
That's a
arches.
great one.
Just have all, but you know, something like, and again, this, it's kind of fun to think it's something a little off-center, but you could have a frame, a gate, you know, there's ways to interpret.
Yeah, but it's like the one in Lafayette by
Yeah.
Three Tree Farms that everybody is like
Oh, the one
not
that's the
happy.
flat?
Yeah, the one that's
Well-
just like a square.
Oh, no,
It's
this
like
is
There was a
very
tornado
too
and here's
simple.
where the window landed.
But you could also put a tree in there, the town tree, you know?
I think something
I
like
think it would
that.
be cool to have something three-sided, you know, because you have three distinct pathways
Mhm.
in,
Deal. It's gotta be
up, down.
multidimensional.
Yeah.
and if you're, you know, you're coming down, you see one view, you're coming up, you see another view, and then you're coming in.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So this is in Bend, Oregon.
Assuming the
Very
middle
cool
thing
sculpture, but
moves.
it doesn't really talk to our brand.
Yeah.
Aspen leaves that move.
Well, and these are just ideas because
Yeah.
obviously we're going to want an artist to do their
To
own
do their own thing,
interpretation,
yeah.
you know, based on. But I think it's important to have our vision of what we want, you know, so they have some direction, so they're not just giving us these crazy things and everybody's wasting their time.
I like the fact they have an art game in Bend. It says, play the game, the art game at www roundabout art to find all the art in Bend.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
cool.
I've been to this website. They have a lot of roundabouts
Do they?
and a lot of art. Yeah, there's a game if you.
I don't know if we need
Yeah.
to play the
That's a
game.
cool idea. Should we put
But
that
I
down
mean,
in
they have.
activities?
It's pretty cool.
Where? Oh, look.
Roundabout art route.
Yeah, it doesn't click though. So where do we go?
There's a tour.
There's a little
There's a
brochure.
little red arrow that says roundabout art.
Okay,
tour.
thank you. I can't see a thing because everybody's watching.
I cannot find anything if I'm the one
Don't be
running the
nervous.
mouse. Like I can't read or anything, I just have to be like,
Yeah.
where?
Yeah, that's cool.
Should I hit that? Is that what-
Yeah.
Possible diversions.
Let's try that. I think
It
keeps
keeps going
coming
back
back to here.
If you click on the brochure,
Where?
go
Next
down
red
just a
print.
tiny bit. Oh, no.
Oh,
Far higher.
right
A little
here?
bit higher.
Says
Yeah.
print.
Right here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. I like
That is
that one in
cool.
the middle.
Yeah. Oh, what a great tagline up at the top. Chances are you love being outside, and that goes for our art too. Great
That's
tagline.
great, yeah. So we could just have roundabout art?
See all the different things.
Oh, look at the cool compass and the logger.
The kinetic one.
Yeah.
This is very similar. We've
A
got the
sound-
history. we've got-
Sound gardens are very cool if you guys ever been to
They are
those.
cool.
They're-
That's a great idea. We
they're
should
very
put that
cool.
on here.
What are they called?
Sound garden.
Sound gardens, so
What is
that when the wind hits it.
They make
so-
noise.
Oh.
Yeah, or you can hit it, it makes different
it makes-
noises,
yeah.
but,
It'd be great for the pathway.
yeah.
I like the mix of contemporary and
Yeah, exactly.
realistic. You know.
Ben is a great community. And I like
Oh, look
the
at the garden
variety
gate.
that they have.
Very similar to the miner and the grizzly. And the
Yeah, they've got a
birds
whole
and
bunch.
the-
This one's called Evolution.
Migration was cool. See, but having been in Bend, Oregon, it does have a very, again, that really cool vibe to it. It has a lot of
Yes, it
outdoor
does.
activities. It has a ski area, a lot of artists. So they're capturing that feeling of art and activities and community, and it's much bigger though, I think, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah,
but
it
if
is.
you also look at the dates, they've been doing this
For a long
yeah.
time.
So they, they've been acquiring the art over time, which is,
Pretty cool.
great way to, yeah.
Ghost.
Okay.
Okay.
That is
so-
very nice.
And that's just on your Pinterest site.
This is just on, these are all on the Pinterest site.
So if you go to that Bend, Oregon Pinterest picture, it will
Mhm.
take you to the
You
Bend,
go,
Oregon
you
stuff.
go click on it, and then you can click on there.
Okay.
It took us there directly this time, but before it didn't go.
It had a little box that said visit.
Yeah. But for
Okay.
some reason, because we'd already visited, maybe it took us.
Go back
Yeah,
up
it,
to
it
the-
jumps straight
Oh,
across.
so this is the arch that's on the pedestal, so.
Oh, this one? Yeah.
Actually, there are several pieces to that, aren't there?
That's a different one. This
Oh,
one.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
they're very similar, but
It's supposed to be in France or something.
yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting the mix of the contemporary with this
Well,
very
it's-
traditional.
That's striking, isn't it?
Yeah, it really draws you right in there. This
What
was-
is the time frame on this McCaslin thing?
This is the one.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It should be done.
But this looks very
Editing.
similar, like that might be a
Okay.
piece.
By
That's
May this year?
So,
But not the sculpture,
no,
just
no,
the
no, no,
roundabout.
just the roundabout, right?
Okay.
And it's
We have
associated
two.
with-
Two.
It must
Could
be, it's the
we,
same buildings in the background.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. I think that they're scattered around there.
Yeah.
So
But if
this
you,
is the
if they
main one right
continue
at
this,
the
if we have a
Catherine.
big
And then
roundabout
flip it
and
over,
a
there's
little
one
roundabout,
lower one.
So
They should talk to
in the
each other,
future,
right?
is there an option to put?
Yeah, I think so, especially because
Oh, yeah,
you
they should talk to
if
each
you're
other,
looking
because you
from the
see-
sports table, you're basically right
Well, I
next to
think
each
that
other.
that's
So you wouldn't
definitely
have like a
something-
bowling ball next
Exactly.
to
Yeah,
it.
you wouldn't have this, and then
Street.
you'd have that really cool heron.
My initial thought was
Yeah.
you could have the visiting sculptors, but I think installation in a roundabout is pretty serious versus, because you don't want to blow it over onto a car or something.
Yeah.
It's more permanent installation in a roundabout.
Well, and it's the brand. I mean, it literally, when
Yeah.
people are coming into Superior, that's what they're gonna see. It makes that
Yeah, we wanted
statement
to say,
about,
We'll have a
cool.
total of 4.
yeah, like, oh, cool, they come
That's
in.
cool.
Well, no, we've got 2 here, and then we've got one at the Colton Roundabout, and there's also one down Rock Creek Parkway.
Right, but- I mean, and those are things we could propose to do artwork in.
At a later date.
Right,
That's all
these
we
are
have.
two that we are tasked with
So
actually,
these two probably need to
Yeah,
coordinate.
talk to each other.
Yeah.
yes.
They need to have some type of relationship, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking with regard to the first one we looked at, the one down in Sedona, is you could take either just a circle to put in the little one in the town center, or you could take the inside portion of it and put in the smaller one, so.
So one might frame the other, one like this
Well, remember there's going to be a fountain too in the public space
Oh.
in the town center. Some kind, remember we talked about that, some kind of water feature
Oh, on Main Street?
on Main
Yeah,
Street.
there really
somewhere.
should be downtown.
There was one, because I know we talked about not having water, and I thought this was really
Not in the
interesting.
roundabout.
Because
See,
it's a
we're talking two different things.
fountain,
Oh, wow,
but it's
that's
not
nice.
water.
It's not, yeah, it's lighted.
Yeah.
That's like downtown.
Wait, what
Area
is
with
that?
drive
Oh, they're-
on-
at the
Oh,
White
yeah.
House.
At the
They're
corner.
white.
Yeah, they have almost.
You
is
can-
that right?
I would drive off the road. That would be really
Yeah,
cool.
we're talking about two different things. One's the roundabout, and the other one's the town center.
The one there in.
Water in the town
In
center.
the middle, this is what it looks like in the daylight, and then it has light on it.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh, the tunnel.
It's a walkway, not a roundabout, but I still thought the idea was kind of cool.
That is cool.
That is cool.
So what, is this?
And this is
part
just
the
part
same-
of it farther out.
Okay.
The same thing
Well,
with
it looks a
the,
lot better when you see the whole thing.
the tips. Isn't that interesting how they took that steel and just kind of
Yeah, they.
fanned it or something?
Progression.
Wow.
That is
That
very
is
cool.
cool.
Like a fractal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could spend lots of money.
How many millions do you have? Okay, so in order to, we've got a lot of stuff to get through.
What the historical commission's budget is.
I'm thinking that the subgroup could create the timeline and plan, because I think that's a little more in-depth than we probably want to do right now, if we want to have time to focus on other stuff. So, which leads us into identifying project leaders and volunteer assignments. So those that are interested in doing and working on the roundabout.
Should this be like,
There.
did you designate committees?
That's what- Okay, so
Public
this is.
space, art, events, you know.
This is what I came up with, and tell
Okay.
me if I missed something. So, according to the work plan, because
Okay.
this is based on the work plan, we need folks to document the flowers. We need someone to work on the artist registry.
Wait, what's that?
Sorry.
All right.
You want to see that for me?
Yes.
The art installation opportunities,
Okay.
the pocket park parties or cul-de-sac parties.
So events.
What?
Well, if you,
Yeah.
the flowers would be under landscaping, probably. Or, I mean, if we need actual committees, you know, that is McCaslin a public space committee, or is it just the roundabout committee? You see,
That's
I
a
mean, you're
good
trying
question.
to get everything under like 4 different groups or something, that's what I.
Yeah, and I was just pulling this off of the work plan as far as like projects.
Art installations.
So
and then pop-up
you're
events,
thinking
pop-up events.
an arts committee, a culture committee, and a public space committee, and then these fall underneath
Events.
that,
Yeah,
is what you're thinking?
like Pocket Park Party would be under events. Chili
Okay.
Fest would be under events. Arbor Day would be under events. I mean, that would be my thought, is that you
Yeah.
just keep however many or what they're called, subcommittees under the CAPS committee, and then you have a chair of each one of those committees or whatever.
Now, I have a question about documenting the flowers. What exactly does that mean?
Well, I think the plan was to go around to the public beds and take pictures of them in early spring, in early summer, midsummer, late summer, just so that we have an idea of what's being planted where and what works, what doesn't work, and what we like. So that if we want to continue to advise on the flowers in the future,
Okay.
then we'd have some idea of what's actually being planted where. So-
Is there an easy to consume list of all the flower beds so that somebody could just walk around and, you know, check them off?
Technically, yes, I can probably get one from Patrick and we can make it
I think
smaller.
I gave you guys a,
You
yeah, I
gave us a
did, and then
list
I shared a map, but I can try and make it easier somehow,
And I
and
think,
maybe
Angela,
work with
you're
Vargas.
yeah, and
Seems
look
like
at
it was
6 flower beds per
tiny.
se or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. So, because
Yeah.
it could take a long time to go around.
It could take a
town.
long time, and it just would be easy, even a simple Excel file with the address, and then you just,
Yes, we have
Mhm.
that.
and then somebody can just check off, take a picture, and then say, okay, I've done these, and put the date, walk around.
Okay. So,
Just so we don't miss any beds. Because I could see. how-
Well, and we focus on the main, you know,
Yeah.
the main ones.
Yeah.
Because we, you know,
Not
we have
every
already.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, not every single neighborhood.
Not every single
No.
neighborhood, and, you know, Purple Park is already, you know, they've already put more purple flowers supposedly in there based on just. Oh, yeah.
Kind of related to the.
But we need to go back to figuring out what, so, team leaders for, and what our primary groupings are, and then the breakouts underneath that.
I like that, primary groupings,
So, is
and then the
it,
breakouts.
so is it arts, culture, public spaces, is that,
Is there
Events.
separation
Events.
between visual arts and?
right, exactly,
other
do we
arts?
want musical, theater, how do we?
And then are we going to recruit other people who are not part of this to be on the committees? Because we have more stuff to do than, it
Than there are
seems,
people.
than there are people
Than there are
here to
people,
do it.
I think that sort of remains to be seen. I think the idea, especially like at Arbor Day, is to start getting volunteers and to start getting more people interested in helping out. So that is unclear at this point in time. I think it's something that we can talk about and how we want to go about fleshing out our committees, for sure, our subcommittees.
And that might just kind of, by entropy, resolve itself too, because obviously the Arbor Day committee, so to speak, is going to be done with work after Arbor Day. The pocket park parties, mid-June, however long they
Yeah.
last, once that's over with.
They're not year-round.
Exactly, so.
Yeah.
And the registry probably the same way, that you'd still be adding to it when new people come around, but once it's established.
Right.
I was driving down the street the other day here in town, and somebody had a bumper sticker on their car that said Colorado Artist. And I wanted to run up and say, who are you? What do you do?
What's a
banana peel?
Yeah, so if you look at it, so you have public spaces, which really would be flowers, maybe the roundabout, the winter lights. I mean, that's kind of in that, well, winter lights might actually, well, winter lights.
Almost an event.
Then you have, then you have your events, the Arbor Day, the Park of Parks, the 4th, the Counting the Lights.
Count the lights.
And then, do you want art with culture? And
I think they need to be separate.
I would think so too, but.
My
was
feeling
kind
is
of
that maybe
joking,
we
but
should
yeah.
stick with projects, given that they all have different duration. I think if we try to create these categories, I think part of the fun of this group is that we get to participate on all these different aspects of the Superior, building the brand, and I think it might be a bit of a bummer if, you get into a subcommittee and then you can't really participate in the other components too. I understand we have to narrow down and get people assigned to projects, but I'm not sure if the bigger categories, it seems very hard to try to bin these into discrete categories.
Yeah, maybe because we just have a few events right now, we can divide up committees within that event, so we're all doing pieces. Like for Arbor Day, I'm going to try to find a music piece, and we're working on the hula hoops, and so it's all part of the same event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe that's premature.
The larger subgroup, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't pull that out of it that way. I actually was going after the specific.
You're going to have over tasks
Yeah.
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
general groupings or primary groupings.
And I feel like that will happen out of that. Like you start, if the Pocket Park people are like, we need help, we need somebody to go and distribute, we need these other things, and that's when it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Now, by having it be tasks, not primary groups, it puts more responsibility on you guys, because you're having to kind of oversee and coordinate everything and get it organized. Whereas if you say, okay, I might be, chairman of the CAPS committee, but I know that I have an art group who's doing the artist registries, and, it's kind of my point person on that, so you don't have quite as much responsibility.
No, I think that there will be a point person
Okay,
on it,
on the
but I
audit.
think that everything should filter back through us so that we
Okay.
are overburdening Katie.
Oh,
But
yeah,
each-
and no one's overburdened, yeah.
But if you're gonna, yeah, if you take on Pock Park parties, you're in charge.
Okay, so you would have someone in charge of this
Yeah,
specific event?
absolutely, yeah.
And at some point in time, maybe 9 months from now, a year from now, whatever, you would have those primary groupings in the committee?
I feel like we might naturally fall into that, you know.
And what do other, like, park districts, how do they do it?
ProStack?
Yeah.
They just have people sign up for committees and welcome
So actual
Sandy Hammerly.
committee tasks.
Yeah, I apologize to you guys. I'm standing in for Sandy Pennington and Rita Dozell, and unfortunately, my real job ran really late tonight.
Oh, you're allowed to have a real job?
So, I do have,
Day
a- you know, in addition to being a trustee, how about the one that pays me a lot more money? Not a lot more. Anyway, you know, with ProStack, basically, we do have subcommittees within it, and then those various, you know, project committees then report back to the chair, and then the chair really serves as the person who comes back to Patrick and says, okay, we want to do these things, because we need to make sure that Patrick doesn't get totally overwhelmed, because we got 9 or 10 people coming at him at once. So we really need to have the chair be able to be the filter for us and to say, oh God, we've completely overtasked ourselves, or there's no way we can get the staff. So it sounds like that's what Daryl's trying to do here, and I really do think it's the reasonable plan. Otherwise, you know, our staff ends up not doing well by you on anything because they're trying to do too many things.
So with ProStack, so do they have a person who's in charge of a project or task, or do they have actually those subgroupings of?
Oh, how cute.
Well, I think it's
Love
a little
that.
bit different for ProStack because we tend to have projects.
Okay.
Not, you know, somebody's not responsible for trails. What we do is we
Okay.
have people who work on committees, you know, one of them happens to be indoor recreation space, and so we have several people on that group, and somebody will probably take the leadership role on it, and that person, I mean, Peter Bonnelly happens to be on it, so, but then there's another one that's working on an update of the Prost master plan. So we don't
So
necessarily.
they're kind of committees.
Yeah.
And
So-
OSEC works the same way. They don't have heads of different, you know,
They just have
groups.
committees that work together as a
Projects.
They have a
team.
team of people that work together on a project, but
Okay.
naturally, rather than all the people
Okay.
that work together, somebody says,
Committees,
well, I'll talk to
teams.
Peter,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Right. That's
So-
what we do too. Like, some people work on, entering material in the database for the museum and other things. So.
Right, so you can have multiple people working on one of these tasks, but not every person on the task is reporting, just one person in the
Yeah.
task is reporting.
Yeah.
For that committee,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
committee team.
Yeah.
So basically, there's someone will be responsible for that committee team, whatever that is.
Whatever, yeah,
Right.
exactly. And from the work plan, let me go through the list again and just
Okay.
see if these make sense to people. It was documenting the flowers, working on the artist registry, the art installation opportunities, the pocket park parties, the pop-up events, and then the roundabout. And that was pretty much through, I think, all of the work plan.
For this year.
Yes. And, and then there are other things that we've been talking about, like the overarching big picture brand, which is not necessarily a smaller committee, it's just something I think we just continue to look at and talk about. Yes.
I'd like to work on the artist registry.
Okay, excellent.
I'd like to work on the roundabout.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Terry, you want to stay on that?
Sure. I was
You
gonna
can, you can take something else. too.
Okay, I was thinking about documenting the flowers.
I was
Okay.
thinking that.
You guys are flower documenters? Okay.
But yes, I'll stay on the roundabout as well.
Okay. And
Can we be on more than one
I'm
thing?
interested in artist registry as well, anything having to do with visual arts.
okay. And then what about the art installation opportunities? You seem-
And that was, what, remind me what that meant.
Where is that? In terms of, identify opportunities for art installations, temporary, permanent, formal, or informal, as the initial step in developing an art master plan.
Yeah.
I would like to participate in that one, because I'm really interested in the branding piece,
Okay.
and I feel like the art installations, given that they can be both temporary and permanent, seem to be a good fit with thinking about the brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Claire, when you talked about this last time, that
Yeah.
I really think that branding it's taking every piece of one of these, and are we staying with that brand of what the town of Superior is saying? How is it presenting itself? And I think it's so easy to get off of what that brand is and what we want it to look like, feel like.
Yeah. So I'm getting more of a vision now that we've looked at like this Sedona and Bend, because those are both Western
Right.
American cities. Like,
Kind of
oh, yeah.
artsy, creative,
Artsy,
family.
creative, and a real emphasis on outdoors too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get a picture in your head when you
You
think
kind of
about
like,
those.
yeah.
When you think
places,
about those
right?
things, you
Like,
get a picture.
okay, I
When you
get
think
it.
about Superior, what is our picture?
And like in Bend, you know, there was a lot of different styles of
Mhm.
art, but it all kind of had
Give you
the
that same
vibe,
feel,
yeah.
yeah.
So I think that kind of gives me like more of a sense of like, okay, maybe this is kind of what we're going for, like a cool, you know, Western American outdoorsy, artsy, creative town.
People coming together, whether it's art events.
Okay, so pocket park parties and pop-ups are other projects that we have.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
I'll be happy to help with that.
With events, the planning of parties and pop-ups.
Okay.
I mean, the events.
Well,
Could be
you're
a
sort of an event person, so. Are you sick of events? You want to branch out?
No, it's okay. It's like it's funny because I had somebody say, well, aren't you like an event planner? I'm like, no, that's not what I do. But I do think it's so important that we do have a really strong event committee to bring things together for families, kids, whatever.
Yeah.
So I will help with events.
Okay. And I mean, the pocket park parties, I say parties, I think that we set a date, didn't we, like kind of tentatively?
June 6th sometime.
We kind of talked in June.
Yeah.
Before
the
4th of July, we want to talk about floats, and
Mhm.
which I think is great. And actually, I brought it up in our pros department meeting today, and everyone was so excited. And as long as we kind of let the parks guys know, they'll kind of go and make sure all those parks look really nice.
Well, and one thought I've had, I know we say pocket park party because not everybody has a cul-de-sac, because
Yeah.
originally the idea was the cul-de-sac. But to not overwhelm all of us and the town itself with
Right.
pocket park parties everywhere, what if we do something like the rooftop drop, which the chamber does, and we divide it up and we.
Into quadrants.
And so we have
regions?
some quadrants, and we tell people, this is your party, this is where you go to.
I think that's a good
Um,
idea.
Yeah.
Then you're crossing into new territory and you may meet some new people.
Right, but
You
it's
know?
So
still
quadrants.
small enough that you
Okay.
feel like you're touching
Yeah.
community. It's not as big as the Pancake Breakfast or Chili Fest, but
Right.
it is. But the idea would be to limit it to, 6 or 8, whatever is a reasonable number
that makes
that we
sense.
feel divides areas up nicely and covers.
Yeah,
So.
Do it by precinct.
Kind of, yeah. And people might branch off it from there and do their own smaller, they can go and do their own thing, but the idea would be that.
So what's the philosophy behind this, and how do you see it being executed, these?
Well, the idea was that it was a way to bring communities together and get people to know their neighbors, because a lot of
Yeah,
people
neighbors
don't
meeting neighbors.
don't know their neighbors. They live on streets for years and don't know their neighbors. And so the idea is to pull people out of their homes. I mean, we all go to Chili Fest, we all go to the 4th of July, but you aren't connecting necessarily. You're doing much more family, your small nuclear family focus.
So is the town hosting these parties, like providing resources like food?
Well, that's part of what we have to discuss. Whether, is it purely a potluck? Do we, one of the initial ideas was everybody got some chalk and kids were out, or everybody was out in the street doing, chalk drawings or something. I think that.
Well, the hula hoops left over from Arbor Day.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
we
think
talk
it's
about
open.
having entertainment too?
Music.
To find.
That's a possibility too. I mean, I think that, we have to talk about whether there is a budget, what we can afford, what we, how we want to do it. So,
Do you have any idea?
You would have to ask the board for money.
Okay.
So we'd have to
Your
go to
committee
board.
technically does not have a budget.
Okay.
Right.
So if you came up with a plan, then you would have to come to a board meeting and ask the board for.
So our
Some
subcommittee
money.
would figure out a more
The pocket
precise
parks,
plan.
pocket
Like,
parks.
you could have iPad music, if you
Oh,
could get
sure.
live
Yeah.
music, you could still have music.
Did the board have any other thoughts or suggestions on it? The pocket parks party?
No, they approved your work plan. I mean, they didn't make
Okay,
comments about
but they
your work
did,
plan.
it wasn't like, oh, great idea,
Oh, when you
stupid
talked to the
idea.
parks people, she said.
Yeah.
Oh, the parks?
Yeah,
No,
wouldn't it-
no, they
great
were just-
idea, dumb idea.
No, they loved it. They
Okay.
thought it was a great idea.
Okay.
No, they thought it was a great idea. They really liked it. So, and they were all about if we kind of do the parks, they, make sure they look really nice and make sure the areas look really nice for whatever that date you guys pick.
Well, they always look really nice.
Extra
Yeah.
special.
The downside is they have to come through probably and clean up the mess.
Clean
Maybe
it up.
less.
Yeah, I'd be
Maybe
willing
we
to
can
help with
trash.
that one.
Trash.
That
Okay.
was the
Sure.
flower one.
Okay, great.
And we were, I guess as a historical question, Rita Dozal was mentioning that you might want to do events in Grasso Park, too, which definitely need parks people to come through there, because it's important.
Where's that?
It's the
a-
park
the
right
park
over
of the-
here off of Coal Creek that has the museum. in
No,
it.
that's Askew Park.
Oh,
That's
Grasso,
Askew
oh,
Park's
sorry,
over
Grasso
here.
Park is over here.
Yeah,
sorry.
the-
It's by the river, and I
farm
honestly could
equipment.
not figure out where, I drove through.
It's right. Oh,
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm like, where's there actually, there's no picnic tables or anything.
there's a couple benches.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the jail. You can sit and eat in the jail.
Well, what's the one, remember, well, so you have Grasso, which is right by the chamber, and then you go down where the road bends, and she said she thought that would be a good place for,
Oh, I don't think so. That is really mostly private property.
that's what I thought, yeah.
Where they did the
The restoration,
reconstruction of
yeah.
Coal Creek, the riverbed. No.
I just couldn't see it there, but
No,
Okay.
I think that's.
Grasso Park would be great, and I love the lights there.
How do we advertise this?
That's a question.
That's the committee's, get your act together
Is
and
it
do
just
it.
word
Yes.
of mouth, is it newsletter, social media? I mean,
Yes to all of the above.
Do all the above.
Do
Yes.
we,
Flyers.
yeah, exactly, can we get into a rooftop drop and?
I was gonna say rooftop drop,
Yeah,
chamber.
'cause that's coming out.
Right, but
if you
that'll
really
only
want
hit a
it,
certain
you might
section.
have some sort of team captain that lives in the neighborhood.
Well, so that's another thought that I had. I thought that each of us, since we live in many diverse areas, that we would be a team captain for whatever, as we divided up, whatever park it was, if everybody is willing to.
A team captain for every party,
Right.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, we need to have a.
Right.
you know,
A representative.
Yeah.
Cheerleader.
Yeah.
Someone with
Social director, whatever, yeah.
Someone with a
Cruise
name
director.
Cruise director.
And I'm just thinking, we're doing these,
Host.
if we have it be potluck, which would definitely save money, we still need to make arrangements for, are there tables?
Mhm.
And who's, are they gonna be town tables? Are we gonna rent tables? Or, we can't assume people have tables of their own that they can bring to a park.
Or do you just bring chairs?
Chairs.
I would say
But
just
where do you put the
chairs.
food if you have
Well,
potluck?
the parks that are chosen
Must have.
should have tables.
Yes.
Right, but not all the pocket parks do they?
Yeah, but if you're
And do
gonna
they
do
have a
quadrants,
Yeah.
You have to have bigger parks.
Yeah.
well,
do
you
they have
do
enough?
Founder's Park, which is fabulous, because it has the
Yeah.
amphitheater and the whole 9 yards. So Founder's Park, Community Park, probably
Right Park.
Torrey's Peak Park, maybe.
The new
new
wildflower
park.
The
park?
new
Yes.
park, whatever, what's the name of it?
Wildflower.
Wildflower.
That's
So,
what they call it? Oh, I didn't
Those
hear
have
that.
cool
Yeah.
tables,
Have
shade.
wildflower.
Yeah, that's my.
I have to go.
So,
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, so just, let us know if there's any like, history-related things, and we definitely would like it if there's, well, we want to make sure there's some sort of history presence in the new town center, and we're thinking that art would be a good way to do that. But yeah, and then if you have an event in one of the like history-based parks, we'd love to be there.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one of the things we really want to
Is
move
there
the
a-
minor.
Yeah, we want to
You know
move
the
the
minor?
minor.
We do not want to move the minor. We talked about it, like we.
Oh, really?
What,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
We think he needs to be in a more prominent location.
We'd
Yeah,
rather
he's
have
so
like
cool.
more history things and leave him where he is. But that's the first, or the only statue the historical commission has put like together, and
He's
they
so
did a
cool. I can't
contest
even
to
raise
get the
it up. And-
statue.
And it was by
Yeah,
a
it's too
local.
short.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
about-
and we
how about
still have,
another
or we
minor
still
bigger
have
in that
examples
location?
from previous,
Yeah.
the other like ones that were built and stuff.
He's
But
cool.
we
I want
discussed
to
it.
see
It's
him.
not like an official decision or anything, but we would prefer it was not.
That's so funny. 'cause
How,
we just-
how about a second minor statue that's bigger, because that minor statue is just dwarfed in that location. It really should be.
That's part of it, it just doesn't
He
feel
looks-
like.
It really
it's in
should
the
be
right
like
location.
20 feet tall or something.
Well, but we like how he's like looking to the
You're
future
like,
too. with
I don't
the
know. When we
lights.
talk, I mean, I guess we
Like-
were just saying, Rita
Dying of black.
that you guys were thinking about moving it, and then you said no. So that's
Yeah. Okay, all right.
But obviously, if you want to talk more
Yeah.
about it, then that'd be good.
Meet us later in the park and we'll do that.
Yeah. Because we love him.
That statue is really cool.
Yeah, it's very
And every
cool.
time I come in there and you go into, right there by Michael's, you're like, he's so cool, and there's these fabulous mountains behind him. They should plant flowers around it or something.
It is really green behind him.
It is green because you have that walkway.
Yeah.
But
But anyway, okay, so the only one that's sort of left hanging is pop-ups. And here, let me inspire you.
No, I'll be on pop-ups.
You'll be a pop-up?
Yeah, that's
Well, no,
the event.
and I will help with the pop-ups.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all the events.
I mean, I'll definitely,
I still like the inflatable bunnies.
Oh, have you guys seen the bunnies?
No.
Y'all have to see the bunnies.
We had some fun.
I think that,
Oh, did I just get turned off?
yeah, I think I found that.
there's 2 Easter egg. Has anybody ever been to the Easter egg hunts in Superior?
Well,
Oh,
I'll
my
look back
gosh.
and we can pass my.
They're like
around, so you-
crazy.
There's always such terrible
Um,
weather.
The
Yeah.
Rock Creek neighborhood does it on April 8th.
Well, it sort
I
of
have not
smelled like
heard
it was
whether they're doing
burning.
And
I mean, it
Oh,
kind of like
and-
a
and
burn.
anyway,
Moms is
it's
doing
actually
this
super
routine,
hot.
and they're
It's
doing
feeling
it.
okay.
Do you know where Mod Moms is doing it?
Down on that.
So there's
I think it
one,
is
both those
past year.
Saturdays, April
Yeah.
8th and April 15th. If you have kids, it is really fun. Rock Creek usually does it in Purple Park.
Okay.
And Mod Moms has kind of
It's
done
okay,
it
we can
around and
move
about.
on.
I mean, they've done it at Torrey's Peak Park, they've done it at Founder's Park. They're really fun to go to, actually. And Purple Park makes a great location.
Even if you don't have kids?
All right. So if
My
y'all
kids
want
are
to
really
see
old, but I might wanna.
the giant.
They wanna
I've never
reminisce.
been 'cause I didn't.
It's fun.
What's really old? 18 and 20.
Giant.
This is when.
Yes, and
Where?
and they're.
Oh, how
traveling
cool.
throughout the country.
Oh,
And it's
I started
marvelous,
young
so-
and
That is really cool.
The math works.
Much cooler than I was picturing.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound kind of
So
like,
it's an art
Well, like
exhibit
the-
that.
like the
Oh my
that
gosh, that is the
travels
cutest thing
around.
ever.
During the
In his front
day,
yard.
and they
Oh,
did like
my
cool
gosh.
on the
So wouldn't they be
Smithsonian.
cool in Park
Yes.
too? So it's just a traveling exhibit. It comes, people come out to it.
That would
hang out.
be amazing on the art installation.
Who's the
opportunity.
artist?
They don't
Yeah.
have to be bugged.
Yeah,
right?
who
They
is
can
the
do
artist
something
on
else.
that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So Claire, your art installation?
You're right, it doesn't have to be bunny.
I don't want to get, I mean, for someone that
And
doesn't celebrate
me, I'm
Easter, what's,
Marcia.
I don't,
Oh, wait, art installation.
I wasn't even thinking about Easter. It's
That's
so cute.
Claire.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking.
They're only 23 feet
Yeah,
high.
we want to keep it agnostic.
so you want to have it, if it were to come here, you would want it when we don't have one of our spring windstorms.
Yet they are annoying. They are.
There was an Australian artist named Amanda Parer,
Who's also
P-A-R-E-R.
The Pocket Park, so.
And it was
Just you and Melinda.
traveling in
Melinda,
2016. I don't know if it's
For
still
what?
up there.
Pocket Parks kind of would.
Oh, yeah. You and I are Pocket Parks.
Yeah, my
And
youngest is
I'm
graduating
interested
from
in
high
everything.
school this year, and my
Yeah, I
oldest
mean, I
is
kinda am
graduating
too,
from
so,
Seattle.
Yeah. Well, in the roundabout.
This year too.
Yeah.
So
Terry,
graduations are
myself.
1 week apart.
Marcia.
Marcia.
Okay, does
I always want to
everyone,
say
And your
Marcia.
name is?
Debbie.
Debbie.
does
Marcia.
everyone have a group that they want to and don't feel like you have to?
And are there
There's
enough
plenty of-
people in each
Yeah, and I
one?
can certainly help out since the artist registry probably won't be huge.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can help out.
Yeah, I'm figuring that we all will, but everybody's time is valuable.
So is the artist, so I'm not sure exactly how to approach that. Is it the goal to start looking at other existing Colorado artist registries and start collating all of that information, or coming after? I mean, I'm just wondering how we gather that information, because I'm happy to help gather.
So I have a contact with the Open Art Studio in Boulder, and I want to meet with them because they have an artist registry for their artists that are part of Open Studios. But what I think we were envisioning was that Superior, we want to know who the artists are here, who the authors are, who the musicians are, who the writers are, who, every realm of art, theater. So when we have an event or something going on, we've got this registry of people, and we can call them up and say, hey, can you come and play music, or would you be interested in doing theater in the park? So the idea is that we know who our neighbors are in terms of the art.
So are
So
we
we're trying to
looking-
find people local to Superior that are artists.
Yeah.
We'd like to start there, but we
Yeah.
may end up having to
Expand
branch out.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we looking for only professionals?
No.
Or are we looking?
I don't think so. I think we can
Who
have,
identifies.
Yeah, so they self-identified, yeah.
Yeah.
Or crafts people.
Because there are a lot
Yeah.
of self-published writers, and they're authors as well. So I think that
And are we including kids in this, or not?
I wasn't.
I think we should stick to
Yeah.
adults,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
we might be reaching to this group for projects, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe it develops into a place where they have the ability to show or share their works, or, if they're for sale or things like that. I mean, I don't really know where it's going to go.
I would be happy to help, and I can do some searches to see if I can find some of these self-identified people already online,
I'm thinking it might be productive to put an invitation to be a part of this as a little blurb in the
Yeah.
monthly newsletter.
That's a good idea.
Town newsletter, or
on the website,
on the
social media.
website. Yeah, wherever we can put it out there.
Right. And I think that we need
To have them contact a certain person, or
Right.
somebody that can take a list.
And maybe we can even contact CU in the art school.
Oh, like the Dairy Center.
And the Dairy Center,
I mean,
to say
there's
anybody who's living in
The
Superior.
university, my next door neighbor is head of the whole art and drama department at
Oh, wow.
CU. For all their, the art and dance department at CU.
Okay.
So I mean, so anybody we know we can tap out to.
Yeah.
Let's make a huge list.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to
Which is wild.
support the artist registry
Okay.
efforts,
And I envision that it's an app or some connection to the web, that the idea is the artist would be able to fill out something online, so that's something we'd have to.
Do like a Google form or
Okay.
something.
I'm happy to actually put together the content of the Google form.
Yeah.
Think, okay, what would we want to know about the artist? So we would have something about mediums, or maybe a checkbox of mediums, or something. I can put together essentially a survey.
Okay.
I do that all the time.
When does the newsletter go out?
It goes out the first of every month, and usually our articles are due next Tuesday. So,
Could this be at least to have something in the newsletter for the next month?
About the pocket parks?
No, about
And
the
the
artist
art
registry, or even the pocket.
well, and then we also do Parks and Rec one, usually around the 10th of the month.
So if we don't make it next Tuesday, we'll definitely have things at the Arbor Day, so
Yeah.
you and I need to work on.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Or
I
can
was
they do
gonna search
a
online.
coming, we did have a date for, but coming,
Oh, the pocket parties.
Yeah.
The tentative date, yeah, save the date, so essentially.
Yeah, kind of, a save the
So why
date,
don't we-
upcoming events, keep this, you know.
And then by Arbor Day, we should have the quadrants and the parks
Right.
picked
When
out.
do we want?
I have a question.
Yes.
Does this
Up to you guys.
committee have
Easy
an
drop.
email address?
It's on.
We don't. Katie did send out a formal, like, all of our emails in an
Well, the
email.
reason I was asking is I was saying if we're going to reach out to people and we want them to contact us, so that we don't have to put our own personal emails
Oh.
out,
We could
that
make an
it could go to
email.
one and then it
Okay.
could get forwarded
Yeah.
to the appropriate person. And
Probably
then
just come
people
to
don't
me
have
and
to
then I-
remember who do I contact either.
Okay, that's actually a great idea. So set up a general
Yeah,
email.
I can have Nate.
And that might even be nice if people are interested in volunteering and things
Mhm.
like that. So, okay, so if you have a burning desire, want to get off something, just let me know. So far, everything's got people interested, and I'll send out an official who's doing what.
So the immediate concerns, are not concerns, but pocket parties, so we need to have something
Right.
ready for Arbor Day. Who else is on pocket parties? Just me and Debbie?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
good, okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna pop up.
okay.
And I can help you guys graphically if you want to do something. We can do a little save the date.
Oh,
Kitty,
right.
you're on Park Apart.
Mhm. Yes.
Pocket
Pocket
Parks.
Parks.
Pocket Parks? Say that.
People.
Yeah.
Puppet.
People at Pocket Parks parties.
What was the tentative date that we had planned? Did you find that?
June 6th or?
Yeah, well,
June 6th is a weekday.
yeah, June 6th and
Oh, we talked about, not Father's Day, but somewhere.
We did.
Yeah, a discussion.
So you have June 10th,
Maybe that was it.
you have
Yeah, that
June
sounds right to me.
17th.
When's Father's Day, do you know?
Father's Day is the
The
18th.
18th.
So you want to do either the 3rd or the 10th?
Well, you could do it the day before.
So the 3rd, we also have National Trails Day on that Sunday.
Okay,
So I would
scratch
suggest
that.
to not do
Yeah.
two things in one weekend.
So let's do the 10th.
Yeah, so I would say the 10th or the 24th, and I know we talked the 24th was
It's
a little
a little
close
close
to
to
Yeah,
fourth.
floats together.
Yeah, let's do the 10th.
June
Oh,
10th.
I even have it on my calendar already.
So there it is.
All right, it's official.
Okay.
Okay, that'll be
June
good.
10th is what?
Okay, so on to
Right in the
Arbor
century,
Day
yeah. I
plan.
look official.
Maybe
Yeah.
we need-
That's how I am.
So Katie,
I wrote it down on my calendar and then I wrote it.
what, so we talked about doing the hula hoops, and I brought one for everyone to try. If you want to try one.
I failed.
Um,
Those are so cool, aren't they?
And
It's
I had
super
this
sturdy.
idea, because we just use duct tape, but you end up like breaking it in half to cover them. So I'm gonna see if we can saw these in half so that we have more, because only one person can use one roll of duct tape at a time, and this is the most expensive part of the whole project.
How much was this?
This is less than $5 when you're done. Like you buy a huge roll of tubing, you cut it to length, and you get the inserters.
But we were going to do that ahead of time, right?
Yes, and
And I
Debbie
said I-
suggested a date, but I can't.
It was spring break and I'm not going anywhere exciting, but everybody else is, I guess.
So what day are you wanting to do?
Well, I was suggesting Monday night, this Monday night. I can do it anytime. You tell me when, you can come to my house.
The
and we can
27th?
Put together hula
Yeah, we
hoops.
can't.
Well, we just need
No,
to figure
I
out
can't do the
how
27th.
many we can make and what it's gonna cost.
Didn't we talk about like at least 30?
Oh, I think you need more than that.
I
we
think
were
we need
saying
more than that,
between-
but what do you think?
Really?
I mean, I know my grandkids are coming.
I think this is gonna be a,
Huge event.
yeah,
So maybe we should buy some and make some.
because it is,
I
in the
mean,
neighborhood, it's a new park,
it's,
it's,
yeah,
you know.
tons of stuff going on.
It's also weather dependent, I mean. I would,
We'll have a blue.
I'll be really frustrated if I haven't hit any water for 2 months and it snows on that day.
I know.
Which?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna been watering
He's
my
a big
trees
thing
for 2
about it.
months, so I'll be.
So Karen, just to your point, these are so much cheaper and they're better
Okay.
quality than
Mhm.
anything that you can,
Yeah.
that you could buy. You can go to Target and you could get some for,
They're expensive. We found that out for Beer Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
stopped
we can
doing
take
it
them
there.
to our pocket parties.
I
Well, they
think,
gotta keep them.
They're gonna keep them.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I think it's a giveaway.
It's a giveaway.
This will come out of the Arbor Day budget. This will come out of event budget. So.
Well, let's figure out, I'll go to Home Depot and look at the tubing and we can figure out a cost.
All right.
And you'll just give me a date when you want to put them together.
Okay.
And
Which
we
should not
can-
be really late, because the
Yeah.
event's April 15th,
We
right?
can go anytime, or you can tell me what I need to go purchase, or you can meet
When
me
you come
wherever.
back, we'll go and get.
Okay.
So we're thinking 100?
How long did it take you to do this?
That's a lot. It doesn't take, oh, well, that's what they're gonna do.
They're gonna
So-
wrap 'em.
So they get to wrap them. We'll make the actual
Oh,
structure.
right.
We'll put the hula hoops together, and then we'll have all of this there, and the kids can.
We'll have all
make
these
their own.
bins and.
So how long did it take to put this?
It doesn't take long.
Okay.
But
I
we
would say
probably want to
100,
make them
because
in
if
different
we have
sizes.
leftover, we can use them for something else.
They could
You
go
know?
to the pocket party.
For the
Yeah.
pocket parties, okay. 100.
I think it's such a fun idea, and
Bigger than the
That's a
one.
really cute idea.
Oh, for a little person?
Yeah, like
you
my,
know,
my.
we don't have, we've done crafts and stuff
daughter
like that in
is
the past for Arbor Day, and we're not
5'2"
doing that.
Mhm.
And I think this can
So
supplement what we're doing,
So,
so,
and if
and I
it's for
think it's really
kids,
fun.
we
Yeah, I
will
love
look
that.
at what.
Multi-sizes.
If
Oh, yeah, no,
Moses-
you can make them smaller.
Okay.
You can make them too small and they actually don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's standard sizes for kids. Like,
Yeah.
that one's almost too big for me. My youngest daughter is really into hula hooping right now. She's only 5'2" and 110 pounds. She has one that she went out and bought, you know, professional one. It's a little bit smaller than this, but she actually tried out different sizes. And I'm just wondering, if it's focused with kids, we might want to look up if there's sort of standard.
There are. There
Yeah.
are actual sizes and we
Yeah.
can get those exact measurements. I
Okay.
think that, my son just liked that size.
Well, yeah,
He got that
yeah.
one.
My brother's 6'3". That one would have been perfect for him.
Now, do we come up
I'd like
with,
to see
someone's
him.
calling for music
Oh, he
to
loves
have,
hula hooping.
I put
What?
Melinda's in charge of music for the hula hoops, or someone to MC, remember we talked about that
Oh,
20 or 30
okay.
minutes
Sorry.
of competitions and,
Yeah, we did talk about
Melinda?
having. No, sorry. Sorry. I thought I was signing up for something, but I'm not.
music and a DJ or somebody to do the
Oh,
games
yeah.
with the hula hoops. So there's some activity around them, not
A
just.
leader, somebody that
A
can
leader.
lead an activity or do something.
Master of ceremonies.
Greg might
DJ,
like that.
master, yeah.
Would he do that?
I'll have to
That'd be a
ask
fun
him.
one.
Anybody know
Yeah.
PE teachers? They'd be good at that.
Oh, yeah, like Kathy Carney Mullen might be interesting.
Oh, yeah. We could ask.
So who's in
it's-
charge of finding
She
this
does
person?
Surrey Elementary.
She's not anymore. She's retired.
Oh,
but
that's
I
right.
have-
No, yes, okay. No, she called me. No.
And asked
That's
if
who
somebody
did?
Yes,
do it?
and asked for something to do.
Yay!
She
We have an
did.
MC?
You just like totally,
That's
okay,
the other
I will
MC.
email her.
We just have to make sure she can be there on that
That
date.
is total
Let me
serendipity
email
right there.
her.
Who is this person?
Kathy Carney Mullen, she was a PE teacher
Oh,
at.
yeah. Oh, my gosh, how great. Now, is this in addition to the musical entertainment?
So that's what I was signing you up for, but.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is. I'm not signing you up for hula hooping instruction.
Okay. And because you saw me yesterday, I don't hula hoop.
Okay,
So,
Melinda is actually in charge of some kind of entertainment.
I'm going to
Well,
try.
I contacted Global Sound and they
Okay.
can't do it, and I don't really have, I have Sandy gave me the information for the music teacher at El Dorado K-8. They just did The Sound of Music, and it was apparently fantastic, and we thought that it might be cool if those kids would come and sing.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, and then you have other musical.
If that doesn't work out, I mean, it's great to get local. So is there a stipend for musicians?
I probably can do a stipend, yes.
Okay. So hopefully it can just be local whether we want me for.
Isn't that the
but-
greatest idea, Wildflower Park, if you had the Sound of Music kids
Yeah.
from El
Oh!
Dorado Cave?
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
that
mean,
would be pretty amazing.
that's kind of cool if they had even had outfits with the little dirndls or whatever like that. or They sing Edelweiss at the top of the mountain. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so an hour.
I like that idea.
Well, it's a 3-hour event. What are we thinking, like a musical?
So the first probably half hour, like 9 to 9:30 will be all the speeches and park, we'll do ribbon cutting and we'll do, State Forest Service comes and gives us our Tree City USA award. So that'll be at least the first half hour. So, and then the Slick Kids are doing a family fitness challenge. So they're kind of doing like a family challenge where we have like 10 different activities and they gotta go and get stamps and they have to try all the pieces in the park. So that'll be really
And
fun.
who's running it?
The youth leadership is running that. And then they're also running their art contest.
Oh, okay, so that's
If
what.
you guys wanna choose
Is that what,
two-
9:30 to 10:30 or 9:30 to?
So all
10?
of the art will be turned in by 11, and then the judging will occur. So whoever wants to judge, if you guys want to pick a few of you, if you want to pick that day, it's totally up to you guys.
That's at 11?
That's at 11. And then basically it's just kind of open and doing whatever. So you guys can have music whenever. There's tons of stuff going on, so it's totally up to you.
Now, I have a question. If we are going to invite El Dorado, should we reach out to Monarch K-8 for the Superior kids who go there?
I would do Superior Elementary
Okay.
over.
Do they have a choir though?
Oh, I don't
This
know.
was a middle level.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
sure.
yeah.
I don't know.
It was the middle school.
And Superior
middle school,
kids,
okay.
some Superior kids go
And
to
El Dorado
Monarch.
K-8.
Oh,
Well,
that's
and there
true.
might be a
Yeah.
Monarch, like a
Superior
Monarch jazz
kids
band
go
or
to
something that would be
El Dorado
interested
K-8
in.
Kids that live
Like,
around.
and that's
Yeah.
why this artist registry is so important, because then we would have.
All the phone numbers.
I think
people.
I might have the Monarch band. If
The
I can
band.
send that. Do you want me to send that
Because
to
they're
you?
probably the same as the jazz band.
Yeah. If not, I can.
And if,
I
mean,
know people that have the contact.
So there's no, when is the hula hoop? That's all going on during the 9:30 to 11, or is that, this is all just?
Well, yeah, if you
ongoing?
have it like-
I mean, once the speeches kind of end, it's just kind of a free for all. There's not necessarily a.
There's usually little tables and tents.
Yeah, we'll have some booths. We have like
I
5 or
thought
6
you said
booths.
booze.
What day is it, Arbor Day?
15th of April.
April 15th, yep.
Okay.
So there's just kind of things going on, and it's just a time for people to enjoy the park, and so we can do music whenever.
How about, yeah, because if the speeches are going from 9 to 9:30, it might be kind of cool to have like the hula hoops so they could play with them from 9:30 to 10, and then they have the DJ from 10 to 10:30 or whatever. And then at 10:30,
I just wouldn't
Music.
limit the hula hoop making and that kind of stuff.
Right, it's a definitely
Yeah.
ongoing.
Yeah,
kind
it's an
of thing.
ongoing, so should we do then the hula hoop music later?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would. Give the kids time to.
Like at 11,
to make
11:30
it.
then?
Probably even 10:30. We could do.
Okay, so
There's also,
10:30.
and just in the midst of all that, there is tree planting.
There is.
Oh, right.
That's
That
a
is the
lot
point
in
of
one
our.
day.
I mean, they dig
It
the
sounds
holes
like-
and you go and you put some dirt on
Yeah.
it, but the idea is that there is,
There
you
is
know,
tree planting.
there is some tree planting going on.
Because an hour for the kids is a long time, right? Like, that's
Mhm.
basically the whole Sound of Music play. So if we were to get those kids or to get
Yeah,
a jazz
30
band,
minutes, probably.
so it would be maybe 30 minutes
Yeah.
of entertainment,
30
and
minutes
then
of numbers.
the hula hooping. Then
Yeah.
they can announce the hula.
Well, and they can wrap the hula hoops while listening to the music if they choose to do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Well,
Yes.
So here's a question I have about the hula hoops. Does that tubing come in different colors?
No.
So it really does need to be wrapped.
It does, it looks better, and it's
No, it
much more
definitely
fun
does.
when it,
Yeah.
if you don't wrap it, it just slides right off anyway.
Oh, so it adds friction. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I would like to help make hula hoops if possible. I can't this 27th, I'm going to be in Philadelphia, but.
Yeah, I can't until after.
Well, no one's, I mean, everyone's going somewhere spring break, so do we want to just do it on the Monday after that, or Sunday? I mean, you tell me, pick a date, so I'm aware of it. Can we
Going
do
the
that,
week after
to assemble
spring
hula
break.
hoops?
I'm unfortunately not on vacation, that's for work. I come back the next day.
Well, but I mean-
So I can help during the break.
Oh, you can help during, well, maybe
Yeah.
we just have two, because honestly, I mean, if we're gonna do 100, you have to heat them up and jam them together. You have to cut it, heat them up and jam them together.
And hold it for
No, it's just.
like 2 minutes, don't you, that?
No, you don't even have to.
Well, I
hold them.
can't do that.
You just have to warm it up so that it fits on the connector. The connector's really tight.
Okay.
And that's the hardest part, is to get the connector, the tube on both sides of, there's 2 pieces of tube that have to go on the connector.
I can do it 2 different nights, too. I don't have kids. Well,
And I
do
have the
kids.
cutter, so but there's only one.
They're
cutter.
like
So maybe we do
yeah.
one night of cutting and then another night, or somebody.
Of assembling, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Monday nights are bad for me, for the dates that we're talking about. but I think the rest of the week, I'm okay.
Well, it makes me nervous if they're not, they need to be done by April 10th
Okay.
at the latest.
So if we try to do maybe 5 nights of 20,
Well,
or 3 nights of 20?
I
Over
think
the
you can
course
do
of
it in
the
2
period.
nights. If a bunch of us are there,
Yeah.
we can knock
Okay.
them out, for sure.
Yeah,
Your
I
hands
think
just
just
get
to
tired,
make
if I
some-
remember.
Just throw out some dates. And then
I
see
If you
who
do
can-
next week, you'll have to find, I'll have to get you somebody to go buy the materials.
Go buy the materials,
Because I'll
okay.
be here, yeah.
Okay.
So, but I can find
We can figure that out.
somebody can go figure that out, because I don't want you guys to have to go reimbursed. It's something we can just go.
I know it
purchase.
takes a long time. I've been there.
Huh?
I said it takes a long time. I've been there.
Okay.
To get reimbursed.
It
Yeah.
does sometimes, yes. So it's just easier if one of us can go, but there's enough of us
Okay.
that will be around that I can talk somebody into it.
Okay, so Debbie, give us a date and.
can you give a, is it going to throw off your nose to pull the calendar?
No.
So no one can do it the 27th, correct?
No.
Okay. I can do the 28th, 29th, 30th, any other day but Monday.
Yeah, so could I.
If we go to the next month, or
I
the
could do
next
the
week.
did you say the 29th?
Yeah.
So
The
I can do-
29th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, I can do Wednesday, the
Okay.
29th, because I will be
Okay.
back.
You'll be back by then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Wednesday, the 29th, that will work. Okay.
I could do that.
So I've got
Oh,
hula
okay.
hoops.
I'm out of town that week, so I.
H-U-L-A.
Oh, I spelled it with 2 O's.
Hula.
Here's April. Call it.
So I'll just,
What time? It's up to you guys, I don't care. 7 o'clock?
okay.
Okay.
March 29th.
What's your
Um,
address?
It is 115 6th Avenue.
115
6th Avenue. And I can send it out in an
So you
email.
just keep going up Coal Creek, left
Turn
on
left.
6th, right on 115.
It's super easy.
Okay, so is there anything, so a table, are we gonna have like a table? a
Yeah,
present?
I'll get you, have a little booth for you guys.
Okay, can you show us your, the cover of your notebook right there, the font?
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's nice.
So we don't really, we don't have a logo or an
I like
identity,
it.
but isn't that?
It's really fun.
That's
Yeah.
Katie's
I like
handwriting.
that.
It looks
Handwriting.
artsy.
That's your
It's my
handwriting?
handwriting.
That is
Turned it
cool.
into
Get
a
out,
font.
really?
Yeah, I turned it into a font. I'm weird. Like,
No, I think it's a great idea.
How'd you do that?
I hand lettered it and then I vectorized it and I.
Did
have
you
a
register it?
program. No, it's just my own stuff. I haven't.
It's
just
cool
something
though.
I put in.
It is cool.
Thanks. So-
But anyway, if we have a banner or something, it would be.
Oh, do you want me to make, everybody else has a banner. Do you want a banner?
Yeah, we need a band.
Yeah.
I'll have to make sure it's okay that yours is a fun banner, everyone else is a funny.
Did you want to schedule the
Well,
second one?
RCAC has the Superior logo, the recycling logo on theirs, don't they?
Mm-mm.
All right, well, just check and make sure.
I'll make sure, but I can make it fun like this.
Good.
Do we have to schedule a second one for the hula hoops?
What'd you say?
A second
Oh, a
hula
second.
hooping,
Well,
yes.
what if we figure out how many we get done, and if we need to do one, then we set a second date?
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
That still gives us some, a week later, that first week in April.
Yeah.
So I'm
Like the
sorry,
10th Or 6th.
I somehow checked out mentally. What date did you decide?
The 29th, Wednesday the 29th.
Oh, man, that's my daughter's birthday, but I
It's
think,
my brother's birthday.
so, yeah, but she may be ditching us for her friends. This is the 22-year-old, so they
Oh.
might be available.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it, but.
She might be ditching you for.
Probably.
Yeah, this will be her first year ditching us, so, but she gave us advance warning that she may be ditching us, so I'm gonna confirm that.
Okay, so we'll tentatively plan a second one so that you can participate. How's that?
And then that
Yeah.
whole following weekend, I'm free, so we can always have it at my house, or I don't know how. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, Sundays are usually a good day for me.
Yeah.
That's my only day that I usually don't have anything booked.
So let's Aim
So
for
let's-
the Sunday, the 2nd?
April 2nd?
Yeah, that would be a great day.
No,
Is
it
it back-
wouldn't.
Unless it's in the afternoon.
That's
I
still
can't
during
do
spring
meeting
break.
Oh.
Oh,
So,
it is. isn't
Yeah.
it?
How about the,
I mean, unless a lot of you can go, in which case, but. I
how about the 9th?
Yeah, that's
Sunday,
good.
April 9th.
April 9th is good.
That's what's Easter? When's Easter?
16th.
Oh,
Yeah,
16th,
that's
okay.
Palm Sunday.
All right.
So
The
what
9th
time
is
of
Palm
day?
Sunday?
And what's a good time of day?
I would say late afternoon or something, or evening, whatever. I mean, you don't want to do it in the middle of the days.
I like late afternoon. That's
Late
good.
afternoon's nice.
Okay?
Like
4 to
you say,
6?
April
4 to 6?
9th.
April
Yeah.
9th, 4 to 6.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be back by then. I
7 to
think.
9 on the 29th. Okay.
Yeah, April 9th is looking much better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Hula hoops.
And I want to learn
I
how
also
to
think
make
that's good because we can get together all of the materials on that day, just to see what we have and to see what our
Right.
group is gonna look like.
Save the date, and I was thinking we won't have anything, well, maybe, Angela, you'll have the Google Doc thing, but at least a paper sign up for the artist registry.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little searching and see what other people and whether other registries, what they're asking for,
Okay.
and then try to create an amalgam.
Okay, and then we can translate it into a paper sign up.
Yeah.
Little tiny
Okay,
trees.
sounds good. All right, anything else for Arbor Day? Anyone?
Well, Katie's getting little trees.
She's what?
Mark's not getting little
She's
trees.
working
Oh,
on
good.
getting little trees.
Well, the other thing we talked about is bringing the laminated art that we made for our previous booth and then having laminated descriptions of what we do in CAPS, right? So divide it up into the 4 things and then have some bullet points and people say, what is CAPS? Instead of just blah, we'll have
Well,
it down.
in our booth.
Yeah, at our booth. So we'll need to have some.
So what if the weather's really bad?
They can move it to the following weekend.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they
Move to the
postponed it.
following
They don't
weekend.
cancel it.
We don't.
Well, that's good, because we'll have 100 hula hoops.
I don't say that.
Which will go to the pocket.
We already moved it once.
Doesn't
Last year we
work
had to
out.
move it, but hopefully.
If we move it to the following week, I won't be there. I'm out of town.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Everyone
just change your plans, young lady.
Hope that we
Well, you all
don't
go to
have to.
Washington.
Well, and if we all are planning on being there, we could take turns at the booth and just kind of sign up so that somebody's around at the table, kind of helping out.
Right.
Well, and you're probably you're gonna have 2 people helping little 5-year-olds wrap hula hoops.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's what mom and dad are for.
Yeah.
Get
No,
them
it's a really
showing
good
them
idea.
how to hula hoop.
Okay, on to item 6, start planning ideas for pocket park parties. I think that, given the time, we should probably.
We've already touched on that a little bit.
Right,
Yeah.
we've left
Yeah.
it to the committee, we've got a date, we'll work on a save the date card. So, the next thing is the possibility of participating in the National Trails Day with OSAC on June 4th. Ken Lish, the chair of the OSAC committee, just asked me if we were interested in doing anything there. My gut feeling is that's their thing.
Yeah.
And that we're gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities to
Going
bring.
forward. in
Are
future
other
years.
groups doing booths there?
I forget it, I don't think it's like Arbor Day where every
Okay.
committee has a presence.
Well,
The
we could-
leadership group will be there, but they've been there the past few years, and they usually do a game or
Mhm.
participate that way, but.
We could also have the sign up for the registry.
Absolutely, I just don't think that we want to do
Yeah.
anything. I mean, he was asking if we wanted to.
I was thinking maybe we
run-
could have a booth just because we're still so new, people don't know us.
Right, and that might be nice to have, because there's usually an information table, so it might be nice to
Yeah,
have a
just-
little bit of something there, but not.
Yeah, that would be
actually-
good, just info about us and maybe somebody there in case people want to sign up.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to ask a really dumb question, I think, Daryl, you said. This is at the trailhead at Colton?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And they sometimes have snakes.
No,
Yeah, Colton and McDonald, no, we've been there.
Birds.
No, I don't want to deal with snakes at all,
The snake
thank
guy
you.
was really cool though, he really was.
Okay.
He was pretty
But I
awesome.
mean, I don't mind going, but don't want to deal with snakes now. Thank you.
No, he keeps them off to the side. He hands them to
But they
me.
had an eagle, and that
That's
could eat
cool.
the snakes, so.
Yeah.
They kept him separate though.
I didn't think that. It's actually a great.
Raptors.
Dinner, well, the thing about it, I won't even go into the snake thing at the zoo. Just, no.
Okay, so the updates and look ahead, formally extend meetings to 8 o'clock. Our meetings were supposed to end at 7:30, or that's what we were originally tasked with. Is everybody okay with them extending to 8?
Yeah, I am.
Every time I've been here, they've gone to 8.
Yeah.
Might as well formally do it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like we're supposed to go to 7:30 and we are always leaving late at 8. So if we formally extend it, then
Then maybe we could leave early.
we could
Yeah.
or we stay to 8:30 and.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so we're good with that.
Yeah.
Katie, do you want to do updates?
Yeah, so we, so twice a year, the town holds our committee open house. Actually, that's where Angela came from as well. So each committee is asked to have a table and some information and asked to staff it as well. So this year's will be Wednesday, April 26th. So it's the day before our next meeting. It's usually on a Thursday, but.
So when I came that fall, there were tables, there were pieces of paper, but there were no humans. It was like empty. Well, eventually Martin was there, and I asked him about it, and he kind of gave me this answer, go like, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. And then I heard this loud talking from this little side room, and I was like, I wonder what's going on in there. And then I got brought in. So that's how it happened. But when I first walked in, there was nobody.
It is an optional thing. I mean, you don't have to come, but, you know, it's totally up to you guys.
And this is
I'm just
something
putting it out
like
there.
we just advertise people in the town if you're interested in learning about committee,
Yep.
you can come.
Yep, it's sent out through e-blasts, and it's an email, and it talks about each committee and what each committee does, and.
I think we should do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Again,
we
another
talked about
way to
also
encourage
the
somebody to
branding.
There for
What 3 words describe the town of Superior to you?
Yeah, we could
I mean,
have an
I still think we
opportunity
need to
to
do
do
that
that.
on April 15th.
Oh, so, yes and no. I mean, I like the idea. One thing that Melinda and I were discussing is also asking people for ideas about what they want to see happen arts-wise,
Right.
cultural-wise, not just the 3 words,
Okay.
but really what do people that live here want to see?
Right.
Because we all have ideas, but I'd like to know.
What the community wants.
Yeah, and if there's an overriding something that we missed on our work plan, or, or people keep saying the same thing, we know that we're.
So should we not do the branding questions and do the what do you want to see questions?
I feel like, personally, I think, what
Okay.
do we want to see? What do you
Okay.
want?
No, I think that's great, because I know that my daughter who lives over by Superior Elementary, she's like really frustrated that they don't even have like almost like a toddler art in the park kind of thing through the park districts,
Mhm.
Even if youth volunteers did 15 minutes a game, 15 minutes a dance, and read a book or something.
Yeah.
I mean, in the summer for the toddlers. So that, because she's like, Mom, they need to do something like this. Well, call the park district.
So it has to be,
So-
we can't just say, what do you want to see? Because
It's
you
too
might get,
open-ended.
because you're saying, I want a library. We're like, well, community, right? So, so we definitely, you're at the cultural, that's why I think it's important to have the laminated, this is where our attentions are going.
Right.
Here are some examples, what do you think?
What within this frame?
Within these bullet points, right?
So I am a big fan of pick boxes, so we can put in like some of the ideas we've had and then other, and then people can write in, but now they've gotten a theme.
Pink boxes?
Pick boxes, with like options, saying like, here's some ideas.
Like
Yeah, like a
multiple
little
choice
sort-
tests.
Oh, so you could say, like, divide it up and say, I'd like to see concerts in the park. I'd like to see.
Give them some ideas and then.
Yeah, check
then
all
the
that
others.
apply, and then add a little other box. Then you sort of constrain the.
Well, weren't you going to
Yes.
ask Sandy for her big thing about what people wanted to see? Remember we talked about that?
No, Sandy had it at Chili Fest. That was.
The thing that I did for Run for, yeah, I mean, that's actually a really great way to do it.
Right, so you do it like,
Yeah, I just did one of those.
Like a poster board?
Actually, my campaign assistant manager prepared it for me. But it was literally those things you get at the store that are cardboard, and then we just said.
for science
we
projects.
put 6 ideas up there that were things that I had heard from the community, they wanted. Indoor recreation center, town hall, but, you know, I was going generic. And so if you do that, and then you have some sides where you can say, okay, do you have another idea of what you'd like to do?
Oh, and they
You just
wrote on
But
them?
don't use the stars I used because it was really hot and they all fell off.
What about Post-it notes?
Well, and that was what we ended up
Those
using,
super
was
sticky
Post-it
Post-its?
notes that people could then write their ideas on.
And those sticky
So
dots.
that's a great way to engage people too. If you put that up, then they go, oh, well, what's this? And because it's something big and it's not a list of things, it's just put your dot of the things, you know, that you would like us to do. And then you ask them to
So do
come
you
up with
want
some more ideas.
Post-it notes with ideas, or do you want us to come up with the ideas and then they put dots on the ones they like?
I think you do both, to be
Mhm.
honest,
You
because
do
you need
both?
to you need to
Okay.
generate some ideas for them.
Okay.
And so if you put up there pocket park parties, they're gonna go, well, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
So it gives you an opportunity to talk about that idea. And so they can put a star up and say, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And then you say, do you have something else you would like to do? You know, and for me, it was people were talking about what they want to see in town center and things like that. So,
And that's
it's a
where the,
tool
so
for
that's where the
you.
Post-it notes come in then?
The Post-it notes are for
Okay.
the ideas.
Okay.
So what would we want to put in our pick boxes? What do we think? If you could.
Well, we have a list.
We have
So you want to go from the list of what we have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then other. Okay.
Yeah. if it's supposed to
I
be-
think that's important because if we just say we're cultural art, people don't really know we exist yet, but they don't know who we are. So we need to bring the ideas to them. We're
Well, and
going to
it's
do
so much
pop-up
more-
parties and concerts and.
Yeah, it's so much
and
more
they're
than
gonna be,
cultural
oh my gosh, that's so
art.
exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
And installations and events and.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Superior is really, you know, we're really
Superior.
grooming it. You want to hear that?
You gotta find a different word.
I think even the word hip is now.
Hip, hip. Oh, yes, oh, darn, all right.
Hip is too old
We're the
too.
bomb.
So,
Fetch.
part of the retail and
You're
restaurants
dope.
that will be part of this new downtown Superior, is there, are there certain types of things that they're trying to attract, or certain like price points for the type of restaurants or retails that's gonna be in there?
Those things are beyond the control of the town.
That's whatever
I
they,
mean, you can look at the
whoever's
comprehensive
interested.
plan and you can get a sense of what we want the
Yeah.
town to be like.
Yeah.
But it's the developer who's gonna be attracting
Yeah.
those companies. You know, we can approve what goes on a piece of land,
Yeah,
but as long, you know,
yeah.
but in reality, if they stay within our specs and within our land use guidelines, we can't tell them what retailer goes in there, other than that we have given them a vision of the kinds of, you know, we said, you know, we prefer not to have national chains. We want to have unique things, so that's where you would
Yeah, 'cause
go.
I'm just thinking that's a.
But we don't, we're not going to be able to control what the.
So
what
could they put
in
a, like a strip bar in there?
Probably not that far.
You know, it's, I've
I mean, I'm just saying, I would not want that.
I've never read all the limitations.
I know this brands us in a completely different.
Yeah, I mean, like a stripper, you know.
Oh, no, actually, that's in the code,
There's
the
gotta be
town.
like a
Okay,
says-
good.
Says
There's gotta
none
be
of that.
something about that. But, so you've already
Thank
kind of
goodness.
articulated that you'd prefer to have kind of more local.
I mean, it's,
kind of
it's
stuff.
in the comprehensive plan, and I
Yeah.
wish I had those 173 pages memorized, but,
Oh.
you know, I've been
Yeah.
at this for like 4 months. But that's where we've given the vision of what we want town center to be like.
Uh-huh.
But the developer is gonna control
Right.
what goes in there.
Okay.
But, you know, we have certain rules. There's types of businesses you cannot have in the town, you know, you can't sell
Stripper bar's
marijuana in
good.
the town Superior. You can't have an auto garage, you know. You
Uh-huh.
can have great supplies, but you
There's
can't
certain-
have,
Yeah,
you know, so
Yeah.
there are limitations on what we allow
yeah, I
as
was
a
just
town.
thinking that makes a big difference on kind of the vibe of the town. You
Yeah.
know what I
Now-
mean? Like having those little local homegrown quirky places versus real upscale, you know.
Well, what I will
restaurants.
say is that when we saw the developer proposal for the, basically the streets and the sidewalks, we were talking about some of the original design plans they had shown the town were sort of more of a Western, Mountain Flare, and they're really advising us not to go that
Not to-
direction.
no, do log
Because
cabin
there's
stuff
a
there.
million rustic mountain
Yes.
flares. So
Yes.
what they want to do is something that is
More contemporary.
protecting our heritage of what we are as a town, but also given a more upbeat, different theme, because we want to set ourselves apart.
Right.
Oh, you
We
missed,
don't want to be Breckenridge.
Or Golden.
We don't want to be Golden.
but you don't want to be Arista. I was
But
just
we
saying
don't
that.
want to be
that we-
cold
Yes.
No personality.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, there is that fine line. I was saying that we went to Bradburn, I just happened to stumble onto it, which has a really, it was like super active. Then we went to Arista and it was dead, so we don't want dead.
No, and so that's what the town's been continuing to communicate with the developer. But
Yes, well, I noticed that on the Ranch Capital, that website we looked at, they highlighted Wayne's Smoke Shack, which has nothing really to do with town center, but it's a really cool restaurant that we have.
Well,
But I
that's,
think-
but that's the kind of thing we
Yeah.
want to do, is to get things that are unique, and that's what we've been trying to
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Not IHOP,
Yeah.
Wayne's Barbecue.